Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
The Panthers are much like Carolina weather, where it's hot and sunny and then freezing cold outside, like it is right now. But there's a chance for sunshine and playoffs in Carolina's future still. Should Panther fans be Falcon fans? Fuck no. I can't ever be a Falcon fan. Luke is up for the Hall of Fame, too, by the way. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast. It's Tuesday night, 9 p.m., longest running Panthers podcast. My name is Tony Dunn. My wheelman, Cody Lack, are here at it again.
As always, on a Tuesday night, the Panthers are still first place in the NFC South. But if we want it, we're going to have to fight for it, man. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we're going to play them on the road for all the marbles. If we beat Tampa Bay, then the Panthers are going to the playoffs. But there's even a scenario where the Panthers lose and we make the playoffs. Boys, there is so much to talk about. We're going to talk about all the different scenarios for Carolina into the playoffs. We're going to talk about some key contracts the Panthers need to consider in this upcoming offseason. As you alluded to, Luke Kuechly being announced as a Hall of Fame finalist. Let me tell you, as always, there's a ton of big-name players that he has to contend against. No Steve Smith. And we will also break down the final game of the season against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But, Tony, you know, I would never want to do this show without the best damn Panther fans in all of YouTube. You know them, I love them. We got Kristen Butler in the building. Joey the Blind Panther. CJA in the building. David Hawk. Dan Floyd. Duke Thunders. Harvey London. Heroes Rule. Loud Pack Luke. Panther Gal. Richards Outdoor World. The Real AP. And your bastard son, White Chocolate Espresso. Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
The number is 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. Go ahead and get your calls in. Let us know what you think about the Panthers. Fight for the division, chance of making the playoffs, maybe even making the playoffs without even winning, right? How you want to enter the playoffs. What are you thinking about Bryce Young, Dave Canales, and XL getting reduced snaps? We'll talk about that. CK in the house. Good to be back with you. Just 48 hours removed, not even, and we're back at it again.
Yeah, it's an interesting time to be a Panthers fan right now, because right now we have a 74% chance. Now all of a sudden the respect is coming our way, even if it isn't quite earned, as some might argue. But it's an interesting moment nonetheless. I'm just happy to be here talking about it with you boys, and it's going to be fun to kind of break down how we make it into the playoffs this year, and if we make it into the playoffs, what that means for the Panthers, and if it's overall a good thing or a bad thing. So I think a lot of conversation to be had about what this NFC South looks like moving forward.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Tonight's show, NFC South, is on the line as Panthers prepare for embattled Buccaneers. What a mouthful of a title that is, Cody.
You killed it.
The NFC South is on the line. Is CK right with the 70% chance of playoffs?
That's
yeah,
what they've got
we have a 78% chance to make the playoffs. So, look, boys, why don't we just run through all the different scenarios, and it'll show you why that percentage is so high, right? So we have two important games coming up this Sunday, Carolina at Tampa Bay and New Orleans at Atlanta. So if the Panthers win, we're in. We know that. Simple, done,
Yeah.
right? If the Panthers win and the Falcons win, doesn't matter. Panthers are still in. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win and the New Orleans Saints win, then they're the NFC South champions. But here's the deal, and this is why it's so high, Tony, because that scenario I just named, that is the only scenario in which Tampa can win the division. They have to win, but it's not just that. They need New Orleans to also beat Atlanta, because if they do win and the Falcons win, well, then the Carolina Panthers are still NFC South champions playing for a home game. So, dude, it's looking pretty good. Like the Panthers will be playing a home game in Bank of America Stadium, man. It's still wild to think about. And, boys,
There's two scenarios, right? Is that the Panthers make the playoffs. Falcons win, Panthers in. Panthers win, Panthers are in. Correct?
Falcons lose, Panthers out.
Okay. So where I'm surprised about the 78% number there, just a little bit, is what to me is like right now the Carolina Panthers, the Bucs are favored in this game.
Yeah.
Right. So Vegas, maybe that's a money thing. Right.
It's that they're at home and it's literally can go any way.
Right. So but still that the Panthers aren't favored in this game. Right. So to me, that means that really a lot of this percentage that how it's jumped so much is that the belief that the Falcons are going to beat the Saints is like a very, I guess, coveted or believed belief, which is also kind of surprising. Is it too much of a recency bias? I guess the Falcons are on a 2-game winning streak, right?
Right.
I think, right? Because the Saints, who is it?
I think they're on more than that. I think it's like a 3 or 4 game winning streak because they've won a couple in a row.
But they got beat by the Saints earlier, right? So I mean, I think that it's kind of funny that those odds are so high, but less because I think they're based less on the Panthers actually winning their game and more about the Falcons winning their game. That kind of sucks.
Yeah. So look, can we talk about this? Let's have a conversation about this, right? Shout out to Richard's Outdoor World. He says, I don't want to back into the playoff because the Falcons get us in. And dude, I put that on my Twitter last night, literally before I go to bed. And then I went back up the next morning to today. I go on Twitter and boy, I'm public enemy number 1. How dare I not want the Panthers to get into the playoffs? Why would I root against the Falcons if we can be in the playoffs? So basically, it's the mindset of what would you rather? Would you rather back into the playoffs because the Falcons got you there? As you said, Tampa Bay is favored. Or, would you rather? So, did you prefer to not backdoor into the playoffs, or are you essentially of the mindset that if the
any way you can get in,
any way necessary is how you should take it, and we should be happy and glad that we're just at the dance in general, that we made it to the prom, that we have a date.
CK, you take it first.
So I think number one, if we were to make it into the playoffs, let me make this clear to anybody who has the mindset that Cody is going to somehow root against the Panthers in the playoffs. No. Like, that's the dumbest thing in the world. We know that if we make the playoffs, we're going to be hoping the Panthers are able to win, right? That's nobody. But what Cody is saying is, in what world do you want your playoff existence to be because the Falcons did you a favor?
Yeah.
Because right now I'm telling you guys, and I know this is going to come across as controversial, the 2 best teams in the NFC South are out of the playoffs.
I said this too. Okay, I said the same thing, and I caught a whole bunch of flack for it. I think
I don't understand why. It is the most evident thing that I have ever seen. When you're seeing those 2 teams, they have more promise than the Panthers did at the end of last year.
Well, and
Absolutely unquestionable.
It just looks to me like the Panthers and the Bucks are doing everything they can to not win the division, and the two teams that are eliminated are playing their best ball right now. I mean, the Saints have a top defense. The Falcons' offense is scoring a ton. Bijan Robinson looks insane. You know, I mean, that's just being objective. It doesn't mean that we're not still in the running to win the NFC South, because we absolutely are. Tony, how you fall on this, man? Because there's lots of different ways to view it, and even the chat room right now is pretty torn. Luke says, any way the team can get to the playoff experience, I'm in. Your boy White Chocolate, he's all about the playoffs.
I mean, I want the team to make the playoffs, right?
I just want it to be because we earned it.
Same.
I want the team to have the best possible season that they can have. Right?
Do you
That's
know
what
what's
I'm
gonna
rooting for.
tell me here's what I don't want to have happen, and here's what what will happen if things go the way that they're anticipated to be. I don't want there to be a scenario where they change the playoff structure because of the Carolina Panthers.
Well, one is I don't think they will.
I mean, the Detroit Lions already put it on the table last year.
I think, though, I don't want to hear that whole conversation for the week leading into that playoff game about how fucked up the playoffs are. The Panthers shouldn't be in there, and this shows you how.
Right.
Like I don't want to go. I don't even want to have to deal with that conversation.
Agreed.
I like the divisions. I don't know if necessarily winning the division should get you a home game. Right? Maybe if you were going to adjust the playoffs scenarios, right? Is like, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you have a wild card team that has a better record, we'd have to explore some of those different options. But no, I don't want, like you said, CK, the Panthers to be the ultimate, or the NFC South to be the ultimate cause for that. I don't want to have to deal with the conversation that we've heard of, that we hear so long about that playoff scenario. I hate it. Kind of brings you back to, the Panthers have backed into the playoffs before by winning the division with a losing record. And
you mean 2014?
We're with 7-8-1.
Yeah,
2014.
But yeah, we won the last 4 games of the season that season.
Right, but we had we didn't have a winning record.
Right.
And you made the playoffs, and we had to deal with that. Like, there is a conversation that started weeks ago about how the NFC South shouldn't even be in the playoffs. Right? I saw Bears fans talking about this. And it kind of sucked too, because I was, we're watching this team ebb and flow, grow, regress, grow. And I thought that, man, is like, if we could chug into the playoffs, you can kind of tell all those people shut up. Like, look, the Panthers aren't the best team in the league, but they charged in. But my answer to your question is this. I'm with you guys, right? Is like, I'm going to watch the game. If the Panthers lose to the Bucks and the Falcons win and we're in the playoffs, I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to root for the Panthers. We're going to celebrate. We're going to cry. We're going to do all these different things. I think, though, it's wild that you're having that fans, the ones that kind of are coming at you, Cody, and I want them to be able to have their opinions too. Like, they can have their opinions. Sure. But I don't want to have a defeatist mindset going in this week either.
Right.
Like, we're already talking about the Panthers losing. Like, if we lose, like, how about this? How about the Panthers get back on that every other week schedule and fucking go out there and win this game? How about the Panthers go out there and, like they have done a couple of times throughout this season, make us question if we panicked too much about who this team was. The sad part about it is that then on that every other week schedule, Panthers are going to go out there and get trounced in the first round of the playoffs. I want the Panthers to be the best team they are. And last week they weren't the best team they could be. And there's been several times this season that they weren't. I want the Panthers to win this game against the Bucks, to gain confidence in themselves, to try to shed some of that ick that is on them after this Seattle Seahawks game, and to go into the playoffs and fucking with the attitude of, hey, we're here. Let's make the most of it, potentially make some noise and go out there and play. Be men. Be a dog. Don't go in there and just yip yap and back in, right? And I'm not saying, look, that I'm not going to watch it, right? I don't think we should be rooting for a scenario. How about that? I'm rooting for I'm rooting for the Panthers to win, and I could give two shits about what happens with the Saints and the Falcons. In fact, I kind of want the Panthers to win and the Saints to win, because then that would make me feel better about the Panthers losing to the Saints a couple of times. And that maybe that team is better than their record had showed, and that we had made too much of a deal of what happened in the beginning of the season.
I agree.
And that's it. And I guess to your last part is to your analogy about the be happy if you got a date
to the prom.
Yeah. I'm not rooting for my date to the prom to be, I'm not rooting for sloppy seconds.
Yeah.
You know, like, he got sick, so now I'm calling you up as a backup.
Yeah, or it's like if the Falcons win and the Panthers lose, it's like you're going to the prom with your mom. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you're at the prom, but it's like everybody's pointing at you like a dork, and you don't.
And I don't want to hear from those Falcon fans, dude, about your welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess there's only one
positive,
man. There's only one positive, and I don't know if you know how we always talk about how, like, if you kind of back into the playoffs and you have no chance, it kind of fucks your draft pickup. Right, like the next year, like is because you can't get even in the top 15, and you probably were a top 15 team, but somehow you stumbled into a win at the end that really screwed your draft to where you lost 5 spots. This actually would be a way you get a playoff game and still hold the same pick that you would have had.
Yeah. I mean, to me, obvious, right? We all want to win. Everyone knows that. Everybody would prefer to go to the playoff off of the backs of shutting out Tampa Bay in this season and beating them twice and winning our final game of the year on the road after an abysmal performance against the Seahawks. I just don't want to be gifted anything. I wanted to earn it. I want this team to earn it. And then people were like, oh, well, we beat the Falcons twice, so that means we earned it. But I'm like, it doesn't feel that way. It means that we were depending on a division rival to do something for us.
And don't you think, Cody, that it's important? It might be even more important for next season rather than this season. And that is, imagine if the Panthers lose, get in the playoffs, they get shellacked. And then what does that do to the Bryce Young confidence in the question? What does it do to Dave Canales' question and confidence? Would it be far better for us to walk into next season with a win, finishing strong, getting the playoffs, even if you lose that playoff game and you played decent, that you could talk about this? The narrative of the season becomes about growth, getting better, how this team persevered through struggles, ups and downs, trying to find consistency, but you have a base you can build off. What would the narrative be then if you lose this final game, you go into the playoffs and get your ass kicked? What would that offseason narrative be, not only in the media, but in the minds of the players and the coaches and the fans? You know?
Yeah. And
like worst case scenario in so many ways.
By the way, JSN, I definitely speak for myself. I'm not saying that you need to feel the same way I do. I'm just saying, to me, it's just, look, there's a part of it that already feels like, and I know that it's any given Sunday, right? The Panthers can beat any of these teams. Maybe not Seattle, I don't know. But the Panthers can beat these teams on any given Sunday. But I do not want to be gifted something. And especially, like, if we go into Tampa and we lose bad, that's the last 2 games of the season. The Panthers looking like dog crap before we go to a home playoff game. Like, I don't know. It It doesn't sit right with me. All I'm saying is, dude, let's take care of business, boys.
I have a question,
Let's
though.
take care of business so that way we don't even have to discuss this.
Final question about this. For the people that this position that we've articulated, that bothers maybe, or by the any means necessary, does that suggest in their subconscious that they don't believe the Panthers are going to win or can win? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are
I
we
think there's
really
a truth to
even
that.
like, let's talk about 2 weeks ago, you weren't thinking that scenario. You're talking about, oh man, it's going to come down to the final week. Like, what does that suggest? Is that if that is so much in the conversation that you think about this team, it doesn't project an air of confidence by any means. And I also understand that maybe you shouldn't have an air of confidence either.
I mean, really, like, I think there's definitely some truth to that, Tony. I feel like it's maybe some unsaid things bubbling up to the surface. JSN says he never hears the Bucks complains about how they win the division, but that's the thing, they win the division. And they went out and did it themselves, Tony. But to answer to that more, I think that this team right now, it's like we've said all year, they're bipolar. Yeah. They will have a fantastic performance, and then they will go up, and then they'll just shit the bed and look unprepared and look out of sorts. The receivers don't get open. Bryce doesn't make accurate throws. The defense, I'm going to be real, the defense is not the problem with this team right now. They kept us in the game I would say for a large part of that game until it just completely got away with us, and they were able to capitalize off of turnovers, and we were not.
This defense has not been has not been a problem all season. It doesn't mean that it's a 85 Bears defense, right? You have the luxury of not being, but they have held teams largely under 20 points, 24 points all season long.
Yeah.
There are flaws with this defense. Don't get me wrong with that. But you're right. When you talk about it's the bipolar nature, Cody, and goes to the problem with this, is it's not even that you have won and lost. 1 week you look like the team could be a secret dark horse contending somebody you don't want to play.
Yeah.
And then the next week they look like one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, like chumps. Yeah, you have some stats that you put in here that we'll get to.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, okay. It's insane. Dude, we are the most hot and cold team that I can ever remember seeing.
Or hot and cold offense.
Yeah, hot and cold offense.
Like that. This is the hot and cold offense.
Because that 27 doesn't really give an accurate story.
Not even close.
What our defense did or was able to do. CK, I didn't mean to cut you off. But it was, I think that this defense has kept us in games. But then I feel like from week to week, we just switch up how we decide to attack the field as an offense. And I don't know where or why that is. I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I saw. Now, the defense side of things certainly is still a concern, but something I saw Dan Orlovsky talk about. He's talking about of all the playoff teams, the people that are anybody not named, all the potential playoff contenders right now, anybody not named the Steelers, the Panthers, or the Bucks are actually not. Everybody else is in the top half of the league and playing from under center, and we're not, and neither is any of the other two teams that I just mentioned. And those are probably the other two teams in the playoff hunt that you would say is the weakest out of any of them.
Yeah,
right. And I think there's something to be said about that, because I think that was a conversation we've had, which is, why are we running the ball from shotgun when there's 1 yard to go? You know, it feels as though we're making ourselves work harder for something for no reason other than just brownie points. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure exactly what it is that we're trying to accomplish by doing this, but it feels as though that the inconsistency seems to come from the coaching and the fact that they don't have a consistent message, it feels like across the board, that 1 month or 1 week we'll have JC Horn playing lights out. The next week he'll be one of the biggest liabilities on the field. Like, I do agree that this defense has given us opportunities to win games that we've lost, and the defense has not been the reason we've lost. But there have been moments when we have lost the game because the defense, or we had to come down to a game-winning drive because the defense could not stop the opposing offense, not from start to finish. You know, as an example, that Cowboys game, right? Our defense is not a consistent defense either. It might be the more consistent of the two units, but it still has a tremendous amount of concern from pass rush to, our star players and players like JC Horn being a liability from week to week. I just don't know that there's any part of this team that I would trust going into next year right now.
I think I don't want to get too bogged down in this either, but like for me, the defense has been consistent. It's flawed. It is flawed, right? It's played far beyond what we thought it was going to be, I think.
Sure.
Right. Is not only in turnovers, right? Creating turnovers. In the beginning of the season, they were so much better against the run than they had been. They've actually declined in that. I feel like over the last month. But the defense it's a middle of the pack defense to me.
Yeah.
Right. Is this defense, as long as they're keeping you from getting blown out, right? As long as you're keeping you in that 17 to 24 point range, you should be able to have a chance to win each week. And we really have had a chance to win, not because of the defense, but when we haven't won, it's because the offense, it's not that the offense, it's just they've been non-existent. I mean, think of Seattle, think of the 49ers, think of New England, think of the Saints. I mean, it's not even like they're going out there and getting 14 or 17. It's like the Panthers the offense just completely disappears. And even in that 49ers game, man, or this Seahawks game, was 17-10 with like 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter or something like this. I mean, you're there. So I think they're middle of the pack defense, CK. Like, I mean, I think that, and saying that they're 15 in the league in a way, and I don't know what the actual ranking, because you can change metrics. It could be yards, it could be points, it could be whatever. But they were the worst last year. This offense, it's interesting. It's intriguing. Actually, it's nauseating, and then it's exciting. Let's keep going, Cody.
Well, this is sort of along the same lines. Boys, it is time that we had a conversation about one Xavier Legette. Because, I've been a fan of XL. I want him to do well. I think we all wanted him to do well. But there have just been times this year where you just wonder, what is even happening with this dude right now? And then now, to top it all off, you're starting to see that be represented in the snaps. And Panthers head coach Dave Canales is asked about wide receiver Xavier Legette's recent decrease in snaps from Anthony Rizzuti of Panthers Wire. Says that the Panthers moving away from their 2024 first-round pick. Wideout Xavier Legette's sophomore struggles continued in this past Sunday's 27-10 loss to the Seattle Seahawks. The second-year receiver reeled in only one catch for 3 yards while playing in a season-low 54.7% of offensive snaps. The 24-year-old also picked up an offensive offside penalty. And how often do you see an offside penalty on offense? Adding to his troubles with spatial awareness, he's now, along with his latest foul, drawn flags in 2025 for false starts 3, illegal touching of a pass 2, and illegal formation 1. Legette's decreased usage has in turn opened up some more looks for Jimmy Horn Jr., who appeared in 26.4% of the snaps, his second highest of the year in Week 17. the 2025 sixth-round pick, is tied for a team high of 2 receptions in the defeat. So, boys, I have a clip of Dave Canales, and he's out of all of the clips that he's ever given, it is the most coach speak gobbledygook that you've really ever heard. Don't tell me what you think.
And how much is that trying to evolve the passing game just as you head into the postseason?
It's really just all about creating things that start the same, start the same but end up different, and trying to give a little bit, just a moment of hesitation for the defense to have to deal with something. And Jimmy, he's so fast, and you can do a lot of things with him on the perimeter. That's where he makes a lot of his yards and a lot of his plays, and so teams have to respect that. And it's really good because you make the defense cover the width of the field, and we're in condensed splits some. We have some wide splits, and when you get Jimmy going that way, it does kind of spread it out a little bit for the run game and the pass game. And Xavier, just putting him in spots, trying to play to the strength of different guys and making sure we're utilizing all the talent that we have.
Saying a lot of nothing. Refuses to say why. I mean, he says, okay, they want to get more looks to give the defense more looks and utilize Jimmy Horn. But, dude, I'm sorry. The proof is in the pudding. The fact that they are using him less and less says to me that they just don't trust whatever Xavier Legette is doing. As the article alluded to, his spatial awareness, dumb penalties, and just the drops that he has, even still. Again, I had to be a broken record, Tony. All of the off-season stuff, it makes his troubles look even worse because it's like he was out there parading like he was one of the biggest stars in the NFL, and now a 6th-round pick is taking away from his snaps.
This actually, so you say you're upset. You don't mean to be. What did you say? What were your words in saying? Like you didn't want to bring it up, but you wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, like the fact that Xavier Legette, when he goes to the Kentucky Derby, he has his own sandwich in the stadium. Okay. Dude, he's in rap videos and shit, like a real ass video vixen. Like, come on, dude.
If you remember, we had a fun debate on this where where a lot of Panther fans took different sides on it, right? But this actually is my point right here. This is the point, is that XL went from a place where he could be on commercials to where he might not be on a team. So I thought that was my argument, is like, take it when you can get it, because you never know what's going to happen. It could be an injury. It could be this decline. Now, where I am, and I don't want to get back into that debate necessarily, but I'm surprised that the decline the drop-off is so big. I mean, we know sophomore slumps exist. They're very prevalent at wide receiver. XL was pretty good last year. He was raw, right? There were these moments where he had the high optic drops, like in the Philadelphia, like in these games where you could have maybe pulled off a win, but like he was getting blasted. He had touchdowns. He had yards. He mattered on the team. I was not surprised. I'm not surprised that there's a regression in a sense. Like, I'm not like, oh, I can't believe there's a regression in a player. I am shocked that he went from pretty good to non-existent. And I'm telling you, I almost think that the Panthers have given him too many opportunities. Like having him on the field in a lot of important situations. And he's had in a couple of games one catch that mattered. It'd be the only catch of the game. It's like, oh, well, he at least made a good play. But I'm sorry, I have to disagree with Stephen Bailey. I'm not calling you out. I think he was in the chat. I mean, I guess I am because I'm calling your name. But like, I don't think this is sapping his confidence. I mean, yeah, his confidence somehow is sapped. But I don't think you put this guy on another team and all of a sudden, it is bad. He's not. We knew he was a project, but he doesn't even look like he looked last year. He doesn't even look like, I don't even know that he's on the field. And he was getting snaps, Cody. Like, I mean, he was out there for plays, and I just didn't even know he played in the game. Bryson Tremaine, isn't that his name? Who people were, remember when he made the team, we were all kind of shocked. We're like, and he looks good. And when he's out there in these very limited moments, I don't know if XL parting from the Carolina Panthers is going to be the move or the right move, but I don't think he should be playing. And I don't know, like, how about this? Is how many healthy scratches did you give to Jimmy Horn Jr.? This and that is like, I'm sorry, like, I think he needs some more tough love. I think he's got to earn his way onto more of a role, not even more of a role, but to stay on the team. And there's one moment, and I'm past the mic to UCK on this, to me, where I was like, because I have been such an XL fan. Like, I thought, okay, man, we can deal with this. I was like, I love his personality. I thought you loved the story, like the relationship to South Carolina. I think that he had these physical capability of being a good player. He showed a lot of promise, I thought, last year. Where I got upset, or maybe not upset, but like I was like, red flag or something went off, do you remember when he had the bad game and then he had the injury? All of a sudden it goes from bad game to, wow, he's got a hamstring injury, which felt like that injury was very convenient for the Carolina Panthers benching him for a minute. He comes back after 2 weeks. And we also have to remember that Jalen Coker had an injury, a significant one, missed significant times. And they basically both were asked the same question. One was, were you able to learn anything despite not being able to practice and being injured? And Coker's like, yeah, you got to keep your head in there. He gave a good paper answer. It felt honest, though.
Yeah.
XL said, nah. He said, I didn't learn anything. And I was disappointed in him at that moment, because last year, after those drops, he seemed so hard on himself and so focused in trying to be better. I feel like he's dejected right now.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I mean, it's clear that something's going on, and it just doesn't feel like I don't know. It feels like he's just absent. You know what I mean? Like even when he like makes a play, it's not like he's energetic or he's bringing, some level of like stardom to the team. Like, I think the dude almost is reading the tea leaves himself. It does feel like he is maybe starting to become a little bit less confident in his abilities, because we knew we were getting a raw talent, right? It's similar to what we heard when we were talking about Ian Thomas and many of these other guys that we've always kind of gotten with the hopes that they're going to turn into a superstar, and they never do. And so how
about just a good player? Yeah,
I mean, well, that's what was I don't know. When you're going after a first round guy, you're hoping he turns into a superstar, right? He wasn't a first round. I think if anything is we go back to that XL draft, CK, and it's yes, we traded up for him because they thought that maybe having the idea is like, oh, you get this secret 5th-year option, you didn't have to give up that much, right?
But in many ways, it's like XL could have been a 3rd-round pick.
Right.
Absolutely. Oh, let me sort of play devil's advocate here, because some of the people in the chat are saying it. And look, we're about to go to Bryce Young. And as a matter of fact, we might as well, because it's a part of the same conversation that we're having. The passing chart on the left is week 11. Was that against the Rams?
This is the Falcons game.
All right, so this is against the Falcons, and the one on the right is against the Seahawks. And, guys like Kev in the chat are saying, dude, Bryce doesn't throw the ball to XL. He just doesn't, he's not seeing him. He's not getting the ball to him. They have no chemistry. That XL's problems are really not all on him. And it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Right.
Are the receivers not getting open and therefore your quarterback plays like shit? Or is the quarterback playing like shit, and therefore the receivers look like they're not doing anything? And it's like this perpetual who did it that Panther fans have to play. And at the end of every bad performance, we all argue back and forth with one another whose fault it is.
Has there been a moment, though, Cody, where you thought, man, XL could have been doing so much better if he just had a better quarterback? I mean, I understand that if you have a more prolific passing game, that helps you, right? It helps you. You know, you're only getting one target or whatever. How can you have a good game? But even when he has the ball or in these moments, I've never just been like, oh, look at that. Oh, he made it. The fact that they use the word spatial awareness in an article, and not only is that bizarre, but true. Do you remember, like, I mean, there's been moments where he was out of he didn't know to touch his toes in that one early in the season. Like, he gets the catch and he didn't realize he was close to the sideline. He just steps out of bounds. Spatial awareness. There was another one where he turned up, he caught the ball, and then he stepped out of bounds. He thought he was still inbound, so it was a catch, but he ran like 10 yards, and he's in the white, like he didn't realize he was out of bounds. I don't look at XL, though, when he's got the ball or even dropped the ball and been like, damn, man, we got to get him more. Like CK said, he just feels absent completely.
It's what it's always been. And Kev, I know he's been a fan of Bright or of Xavier Legette since obviously he's a South Carolina fan, right? And he might take offense to this. We all want Xavier Legette to be good, right? But the problem isn't. Here's the thing that I have a problem with. It's this idea that his snap count is dropping in favor of a 6th rounder. That isn't because Bryce isn't throwing him the ball. If it was because Bryce isn't throwing him the ball and they were looking at the film and saying, well, Xavier Legette's open, let's get him the ball more often, then he wouldn't be losing snap counts. They would be coaching Bryce to throw the ball to him. But no, he's losing his count to a 6th rounder, which tells me that this is by and large an issue of Xavier Legette's performance. Xavier Legette has not been good. And even when he has been given an opportunity, there have been moments where he's been able to do something. But for the most part, we've come away from a lot of these games saying Xavier Legette made a mistake. Xavier Legette made a drop. Xavier Legette should have had awareness of where he was in the end zone or in that one catch instead of, having the ability to control his body and not trying to reach up with one hand to catch a ball. And then, that was a very catchable ball in the NFL, right? Like, it does fall on Xavier Legette. Now, Bryce Young has a tremendous amount of growth that still needs to be had. Right. I am absolutely agreeing with that. But the idea that somehow Xavier Legette is being singled out and not thrown the ball to because he is not Bryce's favorite target it's a naive notion, given the fact that this team wants to win. The coaching staff, in my opinion, would not be keeping a guy out there or taking a guy off the field if he was an asset to the team. Just hard to say that would be something that you could expect them to do.
So Kev sent me this. This is his yards per target, his targets, his reception. And I mean, the numbers are just absurd, man. I mean, so just this last week, 1 target, 1 reception for 3 yards. But I mean, look at the amount of times
that game off the board. Like, we almost need to not think of the Seattle game because we have 59 yards passing. Like, let's look at all the other games.
Yeah, I mean, 3 targets, 1 reception, 3 targets, 2 receptions, 2 targets, 1 reception, 5 targets, 3 receptions, 8 targets, 4 receptions, 83 yards. I mean, it's not great. And then you also see the snap count goes down. It starts in the green and then it dips into the yellows. And I think it's probably going to continue to be that way.
I mean, you're talking about dipping pretty significantly, right? He was 80%, 70%. And, there's been multiple games over the past half of the season where it's been 50%. Like, he's been out there for.
I'm sorry, CK. Keep going.
No. I was saying he's been out there for 55% of those snap counts in those games, like and you can't like the arguing that he's not getting enough opportunity because he's not getting the targets is, also not acknowledging the fact that he has made mistakes with the opportunities he's had.
Right.
Like it'd be different if like every time it'd be different if it was like the Damiere Byrd experience, right? Or Damiere Byrd, or let's even go the Curtis Samuel experience, where every time he touched the ball, he had this just some crazy ability to make it into the end zone, where he had like it was like a 30% touchdown ratio every time he touched the ball. Right. It's not like that with Xavier Legette. Like even when he gets the ball, like it doesn't feel like the reason you get a guy like that is what he can do after he gets the ball in his hands. And I've never once felt like he has been a game changer in that mindset either.
I think
not once.
If you look at the first 6, and this is minus 2 games where he got bench hurt. Like, look at those numbers. Man, he was actually getting targets, not getting receptions. Mm-hmm. Here's the problem with both of these guys, with Bryce and XL, and I'm going to keep it on XL, is it's okay for XL not to be the most polished route runner.
Yeah.
It's okay for him to not be, or not okay, but it's expected. But XL has not been good at the things that you thought he would be good at. Running after the catch, downfield, like
same argument for Bryce too.
Right. And so when Bryce, though, when Bryce is good, or like when I'm okay with, I'm happy with Bryce, he's not turning the ball over and he's dishing it to a bunch of people. I don't need him to be a 400-yard passer. I don't need him to be like just blowing things up. No turnovers, move the ball, good decisions. When Bryce gets on when I get upset with Bryce is when there's turnovers and his like mental, what's between the ears isn't the asset. XL ain't doing shit. And I mean, you can say it's the quarterback. You can say this. You can say whatever. He ain't doing shit. And you had Jimmy Horn Jr., who sat on the damn sidelines all season long. First game he comes in, giant 4th down catch, 12 yards on 4th down. Very important for the Panthers. I forget what game it was that we won. And it was required. It was not an easy catch. They are making more with their opportunities. I don't know. XL just don't look good. He just don't look good. And it's not even that he don't look good. I don't even recognize that he's on the field.
No.
All right. Let's
look, we have to talk about Bryce, because Bryce threw for 54 fucking yards, dude. 24 attempts, 14 completions, 54 yards, and an abysmal interception to what I believe was a very wide open Tedero McMillan.
But late in the game, right? But I mean, so the pick
that was that makes it
mid third quarter.
You saying late in the game makes it even worse, because
I don't think so, because
it's when you're
the
still
ball
trying
over
to
so
win
much early on in the season in the first play and things like that.
Cody, when you went back and watched that play, do you seriously don't agree that there was a safety over top, and that ball, had that cornerback not been underneath, would have been a perfectly placed ball? You don't agree with that?
I see the safety over the top,
right?
But he is not so close to him that it's just going to get T-Mac absolutely annihilated.
Yes, it was, dude. It was within 5 yards.
I have a clip.
Please do it, because it was 100%. Like, that was he was running full speed right at Tedero McMillan, and if it wasn't a back shoulder fade, it was going to absolutely obliterate T-Mac. 100%.
All right, I have it right here. Hang on.
Like, it's a bad decision still, because he should have recognized the underneath cornerback, but that was not wide open.
All right, this is the play.
I'm on the 40.
So he throws it, just veers.
Yeah,
right.
Look. He's over already.
There's almost 10 on this. There's almost 10 yards of distance.
Okay,
but
even if he's
stopping it there, go back. Look at this. He's running right there. Okay, you see both of these guys in front, underneath, right? Those are apps. That's not an open receiver. And the reason that it's not an open receiver, if he puts that out in front of him, which Bryce still has the ball. He hasn't even reached back to throw. He hasn't even started his throwing motion right here. Okay. He starts to throw, and that causes T-Mac to slow up. Right. And so what you're seeing is look at this guy right here, 2 yards from him.
Right now, Bryce is in his throwing motion.
To the wrong player, CK.
Throwing the ball. There's almost 15 yards
Yeah.
of cushion between T-Mac and the safety.
He
And by the way,
started his throwing
by
motion.
yes, he has.
Yeah,
Look,
he's throwing it
yes,
right
he
now.
has. He's in his throwing.
There. Okay. Hold on.
Look,
Do it now.
All right,
Okay.
this is Bryce. I'll pause it when he starts the throwing motion. Right there, he's throwing the ball, and there's damn near 20 yards of distance between the free safety
hold on.
and
Watch
between
T-Mac.
T-Mac.
There's
And
no,
by the way,
this way, he threw it to
but
the
here's
wrong
my
player,
thing.
CK.
But here's my thing though. Even if T-Mac was gonna take a hit, dude, you're playing football. You're 6'5", 230 pounds.
It wouldn't have been a
Cody,
hospital
hold
ball,
on.
period.
Hold on.
It would
Hold
not
on,
have been
Cody.
a hospital
You and
ball.
I both know. Hold on. Look at this. Right when he throws that, yeah, it's like I said, it's a poor decision, 100%, because it was not an open receiver right there. Because that ball looks like it was supposed to go out to the outside anyway. But nonetheless, so here's what I'm saying. Like, even if you were to lead that out in front, right? That was out in front of him. That he was going to get lit up by that guy. And if T-Mac got hurt on that play, you're blaming Bryce Young for throwing a hospital ball. You and I both know
Look,
it.
that's not a hospital
No,
ball.
I'm not.
You
It's
blamed
wide.
him for that.
Okay,
No.
there is no more of a definition of a wide open receiver than T-Mac right here. There's no one within 10 yards in front
Actually,
of him.
not
I
here.
think-
See, this, you guys are getting lost in the wrong things here. Is that this is just the throw is just off.
Yes,
actually
it was
the right
so far
throw.
underneath.
It's the right throw. It's the right way to throw it in a sense. He's actually trying to sit T-Mac down on the
Right,
50.
but he doesn't recognize.
But
the
he just
underneath guy.
he just threw it far to the right. It was just a bad throw.
I think what it was trying to be.
He's not
is I
trying
think it
to
was supposed
lead him. You need Look,
I-
T-Mac looks like he's about to sit.
What
right
I think
here,
happened
sit.
here.
Yeah,
Even
that's what I
if the
get picked
ball,
off regardless.
even if the ball hits him right here, let's say the ball goes to T-Mac right here. Look how long it
Yeah.
takes for that free safety to even get there. T-Mac probably makes a move and makes a miss, and then gets yards
he needs to
after
throw it to
the
the side-
catch.
He needs to throw it to the sideline on the 45, CK. He
No,
needs to throw it
listen,
over the
I
corner
agree.
and under
I-
the safety.
I agree that if he was going to throw that ball, that was not the place to throw the ball. The problem
my
with what
God.
we're saying is that I'm telling you he made a bad choice because what he was doing is he was trying to throw a back shoulder because he didn't see the underneath cornerback there. Because
I
that
think he
underneath
could
cornerback.
throw that. Yeah, I think he just threw it wide, dude. I think
mean,
it's
it's
just
possible,
a
but I
wide
think-
throw. And this, Ernie Hardy, God bless you. Thanks for tuning in the show. All this criticizing, let's see you can do it better. Cody Lack, get out of your fucking wheelchair right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
do
I
it
will.
better.
I will.
Look, there's nobody
Yes,
thinks that
do
we
it.
could do it
But
better.
you see, this is why the Bryce Young discourse is so fucking insufferable. And CK, I'm not saying that you are a typical, one of the guys who's doing this, but this is the type of argument that I find myself in all the time. Is that Panther fans will find any and every excuse to blame something on someone else other than Bryce Young just completely fucking up the play and not throwing a layup to what is a clearly wide open wide receiver.
I have
It's
stated.
again, I'm not saying that you're the worst of this, okay? But I'm saying that
But what
every other game there is bullshit like this from Bryce, and Panther fans are like, oh well, the offensive line is bad. Oh well,
I
we were
I
trying
want
to
to make
protect
this
the
clear
receiver.
because I want
Oh,
to make
this and
sure that people aren't making an assumption. I have said from the get-go that I thought this was a bad decision by Bryce Young. This interception is still 100% on Bryce Young. I have never once steered away from that at all. Not one time. I just feel like when I look at that, it looks like the play was meant to be what it was. He threw the ball to the back shoulder. And if you look at where the ball was thrown, like it does feel like T-Mac was expecting it to come inside, right? And it ended up going outside. So, you're absolutely right, Tony. If he throws that to the left, I think that's But I think he would probably have that option.
Throw it a little deeper. And how about this? It's okay. It's
The
not
deeper would be a
okay.
little problem, I think. I think
One
he should have
one
gone a
more
little
thing,
further.
though. One more
45.
thing. Even if it's a back shoulder, it's an inaccurate pass.
Right.
Look at
That's
how
what
much.
I'm saying. It's
Look
inaccurate.
at how much. Look at how much of an adjustment teammate has to make to even turn and get back to the ball. So even if that logic is what you're saying, CK, even if it's a back shoulder pass to protect him, it's still not an accurate football.
All right. I want to my point of when I keep you guys, I say it was late that this play. This play is not why the Panthers lost the game, right? Look, at some point the quarterback is going to make a mistake, though, right? Yeah, I'm okay, right? It's like it's a bad throw. It resulted in a turnover. I don't need to just use this play as an example of why Bryce sucks or something like this. I can say that was a bad play. I can say that these statistics suck. I don't think Bryce just made a ton of terrible throws and bad decisions in this game. It's just there wasn't anything there. Right?
I think what I think is more impactful here is the amount of pressure that he was under all game. I think it's going to lead to those types of decisions and those types of throws.
Right.
This is
and
what
I think
the Seattle
you're feeling
Seahawks
it towards that point of the game. Like you need to press. So look,
you need to.
Well, you're going to make a mistake at some point. I'm okay. I don't need a perfect person. Right. The thing is, though, is that it's not even that play. The statistics. And the post game show, go back, guys. I said Bryce was a 5th on my list of the problems of this. But 54 yards, I don't care. Is how are you going to win a playoff game with that? You're playing good teams in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, you're probably going to play Seattle again.
Oh,
let me
rephrase.
If you can make it all the way to the end.
Would you rather play Seattle or San Francisco, CK?
I
have a crazy answer.
Dude, San Francisco.
Yeah.
San Fran. At least we were somewhat competitive against San Fran for most of that game.
Until JC Horn
this was just absolute dog water the whole time.
Yeah,
man.
we could move the ball. When you're talking about a defense, like Seattle's defense is head and shoulders over top of San Francisco, like by miles, and that's mainly because of the injuries San Francisco's dealt with. I would 100% prefer the 49ers.
They're strangely good though, CK.
They are, but again, they were.
Dude, San Fran, they can still get the 1 seed.
Yeah, they were.
Brock Purdy had his worst
5
game in his
touchdowns
career against the Panthers.
Against us. Yeah.
Look, the San Francisco 49ers, they still have a 50.7% chance to be the 1 seed.
Yeah, it comes down to next week. I think that's San Fran and the 49ers playing against, or Seattle's and the 49ers playing against each other.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, the final 2 games of the season in the NFC South and the NFC West, and they're there for all the marbles. By the way, thank you to Just Don't Care for the 5 gifted subs. We appreciate you, brother. You keep us going, man. We appreciate you, dude.
And by the way, this Seattle defense, this is something that I think is because Kev actually put this in there saying we threw too many screens. I don't think we throw a lot of screens in normal games, but I think they were trying to do the screens because the pressure was so quick and we couldn't really get the ball down the field. Like when I was watching, dude, it was like within 2 seconds, every single snap that there was pressure up the middle. It was crazy how bad this offensive line did against the Seahawks because they're that good. Like not to crap on our offensive line. I think the Seattle defense is that good that they were able to, present that type of pressure. The problem with the screens is Seattle's defense is not just good on the front 7. Their perimeter guys were tackling like crazy. Yeah, we could not break a tackle to save our lives. Like, Rico, you can almost count on him getting a guy to miss typically once, or at least running through a tackle. He could not get past the first contact at all on any of those screens. It was horrible. Like the reason the screens exist is to try to open things up a little bit and get us some room because they're getting so much pressure up the middle. but it was not working. Even when we would successfully get the screen out, it was just not working.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I feel like we're, especially when we face a defense like that. Dave Canales just he wilts. He's like, "Wow, hey man, we're not even going to throw the ball deep." Because
I don't think you could in this game, man. I'm with CK. There was no chance. It just was. We didn't pass. We didn't even have a lot of passing plays. Think of it, 24 total. Right, you ended up having to run the ball. Bryce ran the ball 9 times because he's under duress. There was nothing there. There was even the screen passes did nothing. And I don't think they were design screens all the time. It was like you didn't have anything, so you check it down, and you wouldn't even get 2 yards. They were swarming. So there's a lot. Let's continue. Let's finish out the Bryce stuff real quick, and then I want to hit some underdog talk and get to the calls.
So this is from Stark Kyle Orton on Twitter. 32 quarterbacks have started 40 games in their first 3 seasons since 1998. Of those 32, Bryce Young is 32nd in passing yards, yard per game, and yards per completion, 31st in yards per average and success rate, 30th in ANYA, and 29th in TDs. What's ANYA? Annual net yard average.
Annual net yard average. Who knows?
Maybe.
I try.
Average.
Somebody tell me what ANYA is.
They do so many of these ridiculous things that make no sense. It's so frustrating. These weird, over expected. Like, what do you mean over? Like, what did you expect?
I put this in here, and I know that this is gonna when we delve into this conversation that this is like people are gonna be like this is an anti-Bryce podcast and stuff like this. Bryce Young we've been the most pleased with his performance, right, throughout his whole career this season. We have celebrated his best game. He has really been the best Bryce Young that he's been. We've got to a point where 2 weeks ago, you're talking about the 5th-year option is a lock. People are calling G-Babies talking about how you're extending them. And I'm like, damn, I'm happy. And then you see this and you're like, Jesus, like this is my happiness. This keep going, Cody. Look at this. Look at these. These are I just like, how can this be? To me, it's bananas that the best moments of our last 10 years come with these types of stats right here. Look at this one. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, and by the way, Panther fans got all pissed off at Ben Solak on Twitter too. Because again, there's like this contingent of Panther fandom that will go above and beyond and do contortion acts to defend Bryce and then say anyone who speaks the truth about him is some terrible Bryce Young hater. And it's like, no, man, they're just speaking the truth. Ben Solak said Bryce Young failed to complete a pass over 5 air yards against the Seahawks on Sunday, 0 for 4 with an interception on such attempts. Young is only the 3rd quarterback of the last 20 seasons to attempt at least 20 passes, but have 0 completions beyond 5 yards downfield in a game. Bro, that's rough, man.
Bill A. Shea 443 says if Bryce, then if not Bryce, then who? We've talked about this and we'll have a whole offseason talk about this. I don't think the right move is moving on from Bryce, maybe bringing in a better backup quarterback that either could add competition. The solution is, in my opinion, is not to cut Bryce and then just blow it up. Maybe some people have that. The crazy part to me is it's like my most happiness comes with these bizarre stats. Like I'm like, oh man, we could really let's keep on, and then you get these terrible numbers.
But can I just say this though? I hate the question. Like you're saying, if not Bryce, then who? Brother, that's not even what we're talking about. We're just talking about Bryce Young and the stats that are connected to Bryce Young. If you're trying to say, oh, well, who's better? You can't do no better. So why even talk about it? Then you're doing yourself a disservice, man, because this is what we're dealing with. We are dealing with a third-year quarterback who has been largely inconsistent. I mean, look, that previous slide should spell it out for you. All of these different things are real for Bryce. If you want to say, oh, well, it's on the offensive line. Oh, the receivers aren't good. Oh, the play callers haven't been getting open. Like, maybe there is some truth to it, but it's also such a convenient way just to sweep under the rug all of the inconsistencies and the deficiencies that Bryce Young still has as a quarterback. Like, you can speak the truth about Bryce and also say there probably isn't a better option around the corner.
Right.
Especially if we're picking 19 or 20 or whatever it'll be in the draft. So, yeah, I mean, no one's trying to say, move on right now, move on right now. If we could, then maybe there is a discussion to be had. But right now, we're just talking about who Bryce Young is as a third-year quarterback.
All right. Any more Bryce before we go?
Oh yeah.
This is, and here's the bipolar part about this.
Yeah.
Is that Bryce Young, look, is versus Atlanta, Stafford had a 64.5 passer rating with a loss. Allen, 72.6 loss. Drake May win, got him. And Bryce Young, this is Edgar Salamango said, and then, but Bryce Young casually sets the franchise record against this great vaunted whatever defense.
But I also love how many times got community noted saying that all these quarterbacks struggled. Meanwhile, 64.5 passer rating, 72.6, and 102.5. Like, if anything, it doesn't actually
Drake
speak better. Right, like that doesn't speak better for Bryce. Not saying that he didn't do incredible, but other quarterbacks have also done well against this Atlanta defense. And right now, let's be real. Atlanta as a team is keeping the Bryce Young hopes alive. Straight up, because he is by far just a nightmare for Atlanta. He has the key to their defense.
Guys, if you want to get in on this action, and you want to put your money where your mouth is on Bryce Young or any of these players, you can go to underdogfantasy.com, download the Underdog Fantasy app, and use your expert knowledge about football to make money. You can take $1 and make up to $5,000, 5,000 times your cash. That's going to take a heck of a multi-selection to get that. But the way it works is it's daily fantasy sports. You pick multiple players. You got to pick a minimum of 2. They can't be on the same team. You get a set of projections. You go higher or lower. And if you get them right, you make big bucks. You can flex it out and maybe go 3. You pick 3 players and their projected stats. And you say, hey, I only want to put this money. And maybe if I win 2 of these projections, you get the correct higher or lower. But the flex play, you still win. You can get more money, though, if you get all 3 right. If you go to underdogfantasy.com and use the promo code C3, you can get a $75 bonus on your first time if you're a first-time player. Download the app today. Use the promo code C3P to score $75 in bonus entries. Will Bryce Young have more or less of 200.5 passing yards? Do you want to get in the action of Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard? Go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app. Even easier. First time signups get a bonus of $75, 75 bonus dollar entries when you play your first $5 if you use the promo code C3P. Go to Underdog, make picks, win money. You must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. Present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/pay and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, which is 467-369. Whew, Cody, I think this.
Yeah.
We've talked enough. It's time to listen to the fans, to get
Let's
the
do it.
fans involved in this. The number is 252-228-5098. Let's get into some cat calls.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Up here in the cold north, the sweltering like 19 degrees this fine December morning. Now I know everybody's all pissy about the loss, but do you really think we were going to beat the Seahawks? The game was tight. They gave everybody hope. There were a lot of offensive problems, and then J.C. Horn just, and everyone goes, well, you're making, some folks are being accused of making too much of that play. Let me explain something. We're only down 7 points. It was 3rd and 21. They were going to punt the ball back to us. The game's not close to out of hand yet.
Yeah.
And he commits that. That was a focal point. Just let the air out of the balloon, so to say.
Agreed.
Obviously it's not all on him, but like to pretend that that's not like a major turning point of the game was, it's malpractice. Anyway, the offense looked shocked with what they were dealing with the defense. This is everybody, Bryce, the line, the receivers, the running backs, like everybody just looked stunned. And it's like, how do you come out looking stunned like that? The Seattle defense is top 10 in every defensive metric. Top 10 in every metric. Top 5 in most. And top 3 in some of the very important ones. I'm not going to list them all now. That's all out there for y'all to go glean with your own little eyeballs. But the fact that people think this is a shock or are shocked over this is kind of alarming to me. It's like, no, kind of saw this one coming. I thought this was going to be a way worse ass whooping than it actually was. But everything's all still out in front of this team. They're young. Our head coach is young. That's probably the biggest thing to emphasize. His second year as a head coach. It's his 3rd year as a play caller. This is the disadvantage of hiring somebody so green for the position, but you've got to be heartened by the times when it does look good. Like, and it's kind of weird. I find we either look like an offensive powerhouse or we look like absolute dog shit. It's kind of a funny duality there. But everything left to play for this weekend. Winning in, hats and t-shirts game. Let's go, Panther Nation. Come on. It ain't all bad. Josh from Mass signing out. We're still pounding. It's still all there in front of us. Still there.
Still pounding.
All right. You got respond or next goal?
Well, it's a part of our next slide, but so I'll wait. But there is definitely some truth to the notion that Dave Canales is very green behind the ears still. And I think that there is a lot of preparation that I find lacking in the Panthers when they go into a lot of these games. And I can count a number of them this year. Seattle, the Saints, the Niners, the Patriots, I could go on.
Yes, you can. And also, I wouldn't say just like it's so easy to say, well, you need to make in-game adjustments or something like that. And it's not as simple as you go into halftime and you come out and you're a different team. But when something's not working, when you're going against the defense that's playing to the caliber that Seattle was playing, not only their front four just wrecking you, but these open, you got to find a way to generate something. And we haven't found that. It's been execution. It's been play calling. For Dave Canales, it is his second year. Mm-hmm. 1 year as a play caller, as an offensive coordinator in Tampa. Then head coach, which then takes so much of your attention away. You do think that year 3 could be a magic year for him to where the job slows down. So, I mean, if you give that to I think it's understandable in a way. It's not acceptable. It's not ideal, right? But to just believe that he's going to be perfect from the beginning is difficult. Maybe too high of expectations, but then you're also playing at the highest level with the highest money, the highest pressure. Ben Johnson getting it done.
Yeah.
But he also was a guy who was a play caller for multiple years. He didn't come in and Dave Canales has some growth to do. He needs to grow.
And the thing that I think we can talk about is it does feel like he learns from his mistakes.
Somewhat.
There's been moments where we've thought as an example, the first New Orleans game when they said that they were daring us to throw the ball and we were still overly committed to the run when we couldn't run anywhere to save our lives. And we still were overly committed to it.
And then you go play Atlanta.
And then we go play Atlanta, and then you see him air it out. I think it was after that we did the Atlanta game, and he aired it out, right? There are moments where Dave Canales does end up making changes. It's not in game; it's usually within the season. But I think that just shows how much of that what you just said was true, Tony. But right. I think 100%. I think he is still learning, and I think that should be. I mean, at least for me, it offers me a great deal of optimism because I think that means that he is willing to continue to adjust his strategies. And if that means having somebody else calling plays, I don't know that he's going to be a guy who's unwilling to make that adjustment if it feels like it's going to be what's best for the team.
I don't want that to be the case, though.
Well, I understand the idea that I don't want that to be the case. Because, you hired the guy as an offensive coordinator. Basically, you hired him as a permanent offensive coordinator. That's kind of the reason you go after a guy like Dave Canales.
Right.
But if there's somebody who can develop an offense that's more efficient while he still has the ability, let's not get it twisted. He has improved Bryce Young beyond what we thought Bryce Young was going to be repairable to.
We're on the verge of having a winning season.
Yeah, this is he's done actually more for this team than anybody would have expected 2 years ago when he was hired. Right? Nobody saw after Bryce got benched, nobody saw him coming back and having any type of a career in the NFL outside of a backup. Here we are. He's actually playing himself into a potential franchise or into the 5th-year option.
Right. I'm gonna play the next call. Chat, help me out. Did Sirianni call plays his first year as a coach?
I believe he did. I think he gave up play calling
halfway through the season or something.
It was I don't know if it was his first season or if it was the year before last.
He did call plays at some point, I think.
Yeah.
So this would be an example of a head coach going away from that. I'm just trying to find another model that supports that move.
Right.
Right.
I just say him moving away from calling plays, doesn't that defeat the purpose of us going out to get an offensive-minded head coach? That way, you're not having to have that turnaround every time you have an offensive coordinator going out the door. Now you're running a different style of offense. That was literally the whole point. So for him to give up play calling, it's like, what are we doing? You might as well have gone with a badass defensive coach.
Now, I
No,
want to make it clear. I'm not saying that he needs to give up play calling. My argument is that it feels as though Dave Canales is willing to learn. And if it were as simple as, we need to get somebody else who can focus, like I can focus on the game plan, be able to have the conversation with the defense, go make sure the defense is, riled up and, give a stern talking to the defense while the offense is on the field. If you're playing play call, or if you're calling the plays as an offense or as the head coach, you have to focus in the moment the offense gets out there. Your job is heavily hindered. And so I think that now I agree, we hired him for the offensive coordinator to be basically a permanent offensive coordinator on this. But I think if Dave Canales learns that maybe there is something to be said about letting somebody else call plays, especially if the offense is still the same, they're just getting somebody else to do the play calling, then I think that there's I just think that he's willing to learn, and I think that could be an eventual outcome. I'm not saying it's going to happen or that I want it to happen. I'm just saying that I think it feels like he's willing to make changes when they need to be made.
We're coming back to that, to your point, Cody, because I want to get a couple more calls in. I think that is the initial reaction to have and thinking about, oh, isn't that why? Isn't that why? But I think it's a difference than a defensive guy who's reliant on a brilliant offensive mind, and then can't deal with the transition afterwards. We'll come back. I'll make my point in just a minute. Let's get some calls in. The number's 252-228-5098.
What's up, y'all? It's Lucas from Far City. I just seen where Luke Kuechly is a finalist in this year's Pro Football Hall of Fame. I'm so excited. Luke Kuechly and Steve Smith are my favorite Carolina Panthers. I was just curious, what is y'all's favorite Luke Kuechly moment? I have so many. My favorite is probably when we were playing the Seattle Seahawks in the 2015 playoffs, and he picked Russell Wilson off in the very first quarter. It was like 3 minutes into the game, right after Jonathan Stewart made that crazy 90-yard touchdown, and he picked six Russell Wilson. Curious what y'all's is.
Luke. I mean, I have two that come to mind right away. So one, the game against the Cowboys. Tony Romo throws the pick six. Yeah. Luke Kuechly takes it all the way back and then just dunks him right in the face as he goes into the end zone too. Dude, that was awesome. But also 2000, help me remember, was it 2013 or 14 when he set the franchise tackle record in the rain against the Saints? Was that 13?
No, that would have been, yes. That would have been the 12-4 season.
Yeah, so that was 2013.
Because remember that
2014 went 7-1.
And I think that was also the wild. We talked about this on the post-game show, is where I thought that going for it on 4th and 15 or 4th and 17 was not the correct move for the Panthers in this game. Like, I mean, understand, like you feel like you have to get it, the clock and this and that. But that was that wild game too. The same game that Ron Rivera punted with under 2 minutes, down 7 on a 4th and same type of play. And everybody's like, we got to go for it. And Cam's upset. Like, everybody, the natural reaction was, you got to get this. There's not enough time. They go and get a 3-and-out stop. That game was fucking bananas.
Wild, dude. That was such an awesome performance.
Pictures of fans just sitting.
Drenched.
I like this is the fans that found that just happened to be in the spot, like where the trough of water is flowing, and they just intentionally just stayed there and just got, there's these great images. What a game there. Luke Kuechly, tell us about this.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame finalist, man. Now, dude.
Automatic finalist. This is the article on Panthers.com. Was interesting. It's not that was interesting. Actually, it was kind of sparse. But they put this up. It says this is because here's how it reads. Panthers linebacker Luke Kuechly is again a finalist for the Pro. Was he a finalist last year? There's no way. I don't think he was eligible last year.
No, he was a finalist last year.
He was?
Yeah.
Man, I'm surprised he wasn't. That surprises me because I thought he would just be first ballot.
Well, that's what happens when you're a finalist the year before, you're guaranteed the next year. Now, Steve Smith had that benefit, I think, and that's why
before.
he's So
that's
now
why he's not in it this year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Luke is a Hall of Famer.
Has to be.
Yeah.
It's
has to be, man.
The argument is clearer for him than Cam Newton. And that hurt. I mean, it doesn't hurt me to say, but I believe Cam Newton is a Hall of Famer, but I also believe he's a bubble Hall of Famer. And if he doesn't ever retire, he'll never go.
These are all the people going in this year. Willie Anderson, Drew Brees, Yari Evans, Larry Fitzgerald, Frank Gore, Torrey Holt, Luke Kuechly, Eli Manning, Terrell Suggs, Adam Vinatieri, Reggie White, Kevin Williams, Jason Witten, Darren Woodson, and Marshall Yanda.
I think I know that this isn't how it works, but the only person I don't know on this list is Kevin Williams and Marshall Yanda. I would argue that this is every other person. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Eli kind of says a bubble, but
Willie Anderson.
Where's Willie Anderson now?
Top left.
Yeah, actually, I don't remember him either. Those are the people I don't. And Jari Evans. All right, Drew Brees, I would say automatic. Fitzgerald, automatic. Gore, automatic. Holt.
Adam Vinatieri, automatic.
Like, they can't put all these guys in though. That's what's kind of sucks too. Is like
how many will they have in total?
I don't know, but they never have enough.
Right.
Man, I feel like this is actually a good list for Luke to get in.
I don't know because I don't know these other guys, but I'm sure they were great. But I tell you, Darren Woodson, Hall of Famer, Witten, Hall of Famer, Reggie Wayne, Hall of Famer, Vinatieri, Hall of Famer, Suggs, Kuechly, Holt, Gore, Fitzgerald, Brees. These are without question. And I would say Eli, I think Eli's kind of a bubble, personally.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
He's going to
he won 2 Super
name
Bowls
and 2 Super Bowls, but I don't think he was. Maybe that's just me.
No, I mean, you're right. The name alone is probably going to be what drives him, but
and 2 Super Bowls and against the Patriots, the greatest team, 17 or whatever they were. And
they beat maybe the best team ever.
Man, Luke though. He's involved with the Panthers organization in the radio broadcast. He's incredible.
Yeah.
He is personable, interesting. He doesn't make it about himself, but he also is like football smart. He's not so football smart. He explains it to you in such a good way. And now there's this other broadcast, CK. Can you tell our listeners about this? Is what's going on, kind of like the Manning cast, but the guys that are doing it with him are now celebrating him on Twitter, being like, "This guy is calling these plays out before they even happen."
Yeah. It's very it's the most Luke thing that could possibly happen. If you're a Panthers fan, you're accustomed to hearing this, and they would always talk about Luke and basically being able to call out these plays that the opposing team was having before they actually even had the play call in or before they snapped the ball or what have you. So this isn't a surprise if you're a Panthers fan, but it is nice to see that Luke still has it because it's moments like that makes Panthers fans like, we should bring him in place of Evero. It's always a fun topic of conversation, but it's also one of those things that we don't know will ever happen. So
I think it's fun though because you watch Romo, who I liked Romo. I still like him as a broadcaster.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really nice, like a new injection. He was kind of that first iteration of really explaining football to you and almost in a predictive way.
Yeah.
But Romo is wrong a lot. Like he's like, you're gonna do this, and then they do the complete opposite.
But dude, people used to love Romo on the call. Now people fucking hate him, dude. It did a turnaround in public perception.
All right, let's go to the Hope Dealer.
CK, Tony Dunn, Cody Lack, the C3 Legion.
Hope Dealer, what's up?
Hope Dealer checking in real quick. Well, I've had a chance to process this past Sunday's game against Seattle. And, you know, guys, like, honestly, I'm not really surprised. I mean, Seattle, when I look at it, man, Seattle was a better football team than us. You know, and I'm trying to look at it realistically, man. Those guys get paid too. Seattle's defense is nasty.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew that going into the game. But I'll tell y'all what, after watching that game last night, Atlanta versus the LA Rams, I can't believe Atlanta won that game, y'all. That's crazy. How wild would it be if we somehow lost to the Bucs on Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
Bucs get all happy about winning the division just for Atlanta to turn around the very next day on Sunday and beat the Saints, and we clinch the division. That would be crazy work. Man, the NFC South sucks.
Oh,
it does, man.
But honestly, y'all, like real talk, I just want to beat Tampa. I really don't want to win the division off of a technicality. You know, because I do believe that momentum matters going into next season, especially when it comes to Dan Morgan, you know, being able to attract some really quality, you know, potential free agents here. But give me y'all thoughts on that, man. Of course, you know, hey, if we win by technicality, I ain't going to turn it down. A win's a win.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I'd love to just beat Tampa and win straight out. But it's the Hope Dealer. Everybody out there, keep pounding.
Perfect call.
Hope Dealer.
Perfect call.
Yep.
If you think about this, there's three components to this call that I love. One, at the end, he says, look, nobody's turning down us getting a playoff game. We're going to watch it. We're going to cheer for it. We're going to hope that the Panthers on that every other week schedule, actually, you know, maybe it resets that schedule. Right. We're not turning. We're not like, oh, it's kind of like when you win something that you didn't deserve. Like, I'm not giving, if I found a $20 bill on the ground or $1, sometimes I'll bend, it's just a quarter. I'll bend over and pick it up. Like, it's not a payday, but I'm not giving it back. I'm not giving money back. Like, I'm not giving you remember when the stimulus checks came out and people are like, I can't believe the waste of tax money and this and that you gave to all of these people and rich people. Like, I'm not giving my stimulus check back, even if in theory that I disagree with that moment or something. I'm taking this playoff game. The other thing is what he said is the momentum, and this is very important to me, and I mentioned it, is not about this game in this season, but the momentum of winning this game, going into the playoffs and see what happens, but what that means for next season. But one thing that we totally missed is we only were thinking about the Panthers losing to the Bucs, getting into the playoffs from the perspective of Panther fans. That Buccaneers team that wins the game, that shit, their fans would be in fucking therapy for life.
But imagine how much. So, like, here's my question, because when you listen to Saints fans, their belief is that they only have one rival in the entire division, and if I'm not mistaken, I think they don't like the Bucs.
The Falcons and the Saints have had a.
Is it the Falcons and the Saints? Okay, maybe that's what it is.
Their number one.
But I feel like we're the least of the hated rivalry. And so I feel like the Saints would rather us win, go to the so I almost wonder if they're just going to let their starters sit at that point just for draft capital. But I obviously that's not going to happen because they want Shug and this offense to continue to light it up and what have you. But I really so it almost feels like this was the intention, the intended outcome. because they flexed us to Saturday on Monday morning, if I'm not mistaken, right?
When is our game?
Saturday
at 4:30.
So the reason that it's Saturday
thank
at 4,
you for telling me that, because I was totally prepared to be here on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, they flexed us, and so I think it only happened because here's the problem: is if we had a 4:30 game on Sunday, then the Falcons beat the Saints. We wouldn't have to play our starters. Like, we would just be able to sit. We'd be in. So I think
that would be fucked up. That actually is a good move for the NFL. Just for
it worked out well. Yeah,
just
it
for
worked
the
out
product.
Well. I was just saying, like, it almost was like they felt like this could be an actual outcome, even though it was unlikely that the Falcons were going to beat the Rams. But like, yeah, they flexed us to the right day, because otherwise we would have been in a weird situation where, you know, we might not have even needed the.
What a fucking world it would be where the Panthers are resting their starters in week 18
at 8
with
and 9
a losing record.
Yeah.
Good Lord. All right, let's go to the next call.
Yo, it's my chocolate espresso. Yo, bro. I'm going to say it like I said on the post-game show, man. I don't want to hear about no face mask. No, 54 yards. That's ridiculous. That's pathetic. And I'm not just going at Bryce. It's just everyone. Head coach, offensive coordinator, offensive line, receivers, tight end. I don't give a fuck. 54 yards. Come on, bro. People are talking like, oh, Seattle has a good defense. Fucking, they're not in. What do you think they are? The fucking 2000 Baltimore Ravens? Like, that was an embarrassment for like fucking 90s football, where they actually allow you to play defense. Like 54 fucking yards. Come on, bro. But I saw that Diggs from the Cowboys, you know, Stephon Diggs' little brother, he got cut. I'm saying why not? Fuck it. Low risk. You know, probably won't cost a lot. Have him play no nickel, you know. I think it's something we should look at. You know, but that's just me. You know, hopefully we beat Tampa. And if we don't beat Tampa, I'm sorry, Cody, like, fuck you. I hope the Falcons fucking win, because I want to see playoffs.
Peace.
Cody, like.
Yep, I'm going to jump off a little bit early, boys.
Go ahead.
I'm going to get my prediction. Panthers get the W. Win, loss. We're going to have a home game in the back.
Well, I'll see you Saturday now. Can't
All
wait.
right.
The sooner the better.
Later, boys. Have a good night.
See you, big dog.
All right, let's go to the next goal.
C3 Panther Nation. What's up, fellas? It is your boy, Preston from Hickory. Just calling in. It is the final week of the NFL season. And boy, we ain't been in this position in a long time. So I am grateful for that. If the Falcons handle business against the Saints like they did against the Rams, it might not even matter. It's not even going to matter whether we win or lose. We're going to the fucking playoffs. But, of course, as, you know, any fan, we want to fucking win. And I believe we can win this game. You know, beginning of the season, in the off season, I saw, you know what, this team's maybe going to win around 7 to 8 wins. You know, 9 to 10 was a stretch. So, I mean, I kind of called it in that sense as far as, you know, the at least 8 wins. But, man, I want to see this team ascend. We're ascending the up and down roller coasters, you know, win-loss bullshit has got to stop. We got to find some consistency. Again, I believe in this team. I believe in Canales. I believe in Bryce. I believe in this defense. but we got to see consistency. And I mean, again, one thing we don't want to hear as Panthers fans is next year, but you know what? We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Of course, any realistic fan knows or should know or should feel we're not winning the Super Bowl this year. Of course, don't see that happening. But this means something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, even making it to the playoffs, this means something. For every Panther fan around the world, this fucking means something, man. I hope we go into Tampa Bay this Saturday. Well, first of all, I hope I don't get cut off. I'll call back again. But he's got to go down to Tampa Bay and handle business. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and call back.
Thank you for the call. I saw this I missed it. I'm going to find it again. Somebody said, "What? Here it is. Jonathan Collins." He says, "What are you guys going to do if we make some Super Bowl push this season with Bryce?" Laugh out loud. We're going to cheer. We're going to be excited. We're going to be having fun. To me, we have been searching for those narratives. Do you remember, CK, you came out and splashed you went balls deep one podcast and was like, it's happening. Destiny is going on, this and that. To me is like, that's kind of a funky ass question, right? Is like, what are we going to do? We're going to be fucking surprised and happy and ecstatic and awesome. And we wanted to, and then somebody else put this, the very next comment, Michael Thomas said, pull a New York Giants type of playoff run. Fantastic. The Giants did that and then defeated. This is why I was talking about Eli, like the argument for him being Hall of Famer, more so the name, the 2 Super Bowls, but then who he won that Super Bowl against in that New England undefeated team. These are all awesome, fucking crazy. But yeah, like also, like, what would I do if I won of $1.5 billion in a lottery too? You know, is that it's not that I don't want those things to happen, nor do I think they're completely implausible, like somebody winning the lottery. But to tie this back to the call this has been something we talked about on the podcast throughout the season in the last month and the post games, is like this taste of success. It's like a drug. Like we're chasing a high and like, it's like, now we're just disappointed. Like, fuck, the Panthers didn't make the playoffs. Fuck, they blew this. Fuck. Like, and we can't see any good. To me, the idea of having like a winning record and not making the playoffs, like that's what I would have said in my mind is a great fucking season. Is I didn't say make the playoffs. I said have a winning record. I would have been fine. Like, I mean, that was a successful season to me in week 0.
Yeah.
Is a winning record. You don't make the playoffs. So that means that you had a team, the division, you can't control the wild card. You can't control what the other division did, but you won. And we have won and progressed. So this is like, yeah, I want to wish and hope upon the star about the lottery. And, you know, when the lottery gets to that crazy billions, 1.5 billion, all of us non-lottery ticket buyers go out and buy. That's when I go out and buy. I'm like, I'm going to buy 5. And you cannot, you're at the gym, you're talking with your boys and you're like, what would you do with the money? What would you do with the money? So yeah, like what would I do with the Super Bowl? I'd be fucking ecstatic. But for me, I want to beat Tampa. And I know that gets you a playoff berth. I get that. Like, I mean, it's going to happen. You win against Tampa. But to me, just the real success is that Carolina has not had a winning season since 17, 18?
Something like that. Yeah. It's been a while.
The playoff
17.
is fun and it's a bonus. But to me, that's the meat of the heart of the story. And I know it's hard because we're chasing the high, CK.
We are chasing the high, but this is the part that, like, why we should be rooting for this team. Right now, people are going to say we swept the Falcons, all this stuff. If we played the Falcons this week, would you be confident that we're beating them? Because I sure as hell, after seeing what they put on the field this past couple of weeks, I'm not sure about it.
Have you truly been confident any week, CK, about the Panthers?
Well, no. I mean, admittedly, yes. That's 100% right. You know, it's been one of the most inconsistent teams that I think we've ever experienced. We've either been really bad or we have been really good, but it's rare that we've been this in between that we found ourselves in here this year with the win-loss situation. But what I mean to express is, like, right now, we have to want this to work out, because I'm telling you, next year, the NFC South is not going to be an 8-9 team. It will not be. It's going to be a team, and I'm hoping it's the Panthers, but it's going to be a team over 10 wins.
I want to say this is at no point have I like you said, like if the Falcons were coming in here, would you feel confident? Is that the word you use? The idea, because you swept the Falcons, that like changes your way of thinking on this. The Panthers won. Here's the way it worked. If you think about this, is the Panthers lost to New England. It's win-loss, right? You lose you get blown out by the Patriots. You run over not run over. You only won by 3 points against the Dolphins. You won against Dallas. You didn't think you were going to win that game. You win in a snoozer, but it's on the road with New York Jets. But you get blown out by the Bills, 40-9, right? So you think you're dead. You're like, oh man, you beat the Jets, you beat the Dolphins. This team sucks. Somehow you go on the road and you beat the Packers, 16-13. You're facing a 1-8. New Orleans Saints team, you lose with a rookie quarterback, right? When we walked in to the Falcons game, people were not picking us. We weren't picking the Panthers to beat the Falcons at all.
Agreed.
And you put up 30. Make sure this is the right seed. Yeah. 30-27. You get pulled off that win, but then you lay a dud on Monday night against the 49ers. Understandable, on the road. It was crazy because our defense kept us in this. It's like we laid a dud, but they still only scored 20 points. At no point, though, have I walked into a game. Did you walk into the Saints game? The one game that I walked into believing we were going to win was the Saints, and we lost it.
Right. Yeah.
So, I believe this team can win. I'm excited about it. I want them to win. But I don't walk into any week thinking they're going to. Every time I thought, the first time I thought that in 10 years, we lost.
Against the Saints.
Yeah. Yes. And then we lost again against them bitches.
Yeah, it wasn't a fluke. But that's what I worry about. It's like this has to be a winning, like this we have to try to make the best of this opportunity, because I don't know that the South is as open as we were expecting it to be next year, given how the Saints and the Falcons have been playing.
You gotta worry about it, right?
You really do. Like, if you're watching the way that they played the last 3 weeks, and you're not, granted, I know that one of them was the Jets, and I know, the other one was, when I'm talking about the Saints, but like there's against us, against this defense, Shug looked like he was a freaking elite quarterback. I get that there are going to be asterisks to some of these performances, but when you see the Falcons putting everything together, against one of the best teams in the NFL, just like we did, admittedly, against the Rams. I would argue that though theirs might have been a little bit more impressive than ours, just given the fact that they dominated on offense in the first half, and they had maybe it was a bit of a big both of us. I'd say both of our games were similar, but I think that the Falcons aren't that far off. I don't think the Saints are that.
Well, their
far
quarterback off, right?
Yeah,
that's why the Saints are more concerning because you think they're
Mm-hmm.
quarterback on right now. All right, CK, can you push the comments for me?
Got you, dog.
C3 Panther Nation. What's up, fellas? It is your boy, Preston from Hickory. Just calling in. It is the final week of the NFL season. And boy, we ain't been in this position in a long time. So I am grateful for that. If the Falcons handle business against the Saints like they did against the Rams, it might not even matter. It's not even going to matter whether we win or lose. We're going to the fucking playoffs. But, of course, as, any fan, we want to fucking win.
Yeah.
And I believe we can win this game. At the end of the season, in the off season, I saw, this team's maybe going to win around 7 to 8 wins. 9 to 10 was a stretch. So, I kind of called it in that sense as far as, the at least 8 wins. But, man, I want to see this team ascend.
Mm-hmm.
The up and down roller coasters, win-loss bullshit has got to stop. We got to find some consistency. Again, I believe in this team. I believe in Canales. I believe in Bryce. I believe in this defense. But we got to see consistency. And, again, one thing we don't want to hear as Panthers fans is next year, but you know what? We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Of course, any realistic fan knows or should know or should feel we're not winning the Super Bowl this season. Of course, don't see that happening. But this means something, Like, even making it to the playoffs, this means something. For every Panther fan around the world, this fucking means something, man.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we go into Tampa Bay this Saturday. Well, first of all, I hope I don't get cut off. I'll call back again. But he's got to go down to Tampa Bay and handle business. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and call back.
Oh, this is one we just listened to, I think.
Damn it. That sucks because I stepped away and I made y'all listen twice. Now you got to listen to Preston
from Hickory
3
calling
times.
back again, boys. But, I was just doing a bunch of rambling, really. But like I was saying, this means something. We definitely got to pack our defense, which I really don't worry about them. Even in a loss against the Seahawks last week, defense looked decent in spots. I really want to see J.C. Horn get back to what made him a Pro Bowler this season because, the past few weeks, wow. Wow. Again, that face mask was costly, but, without looking back, who cares? We got to move on to the next.
Mm-hmm.
And now it comes down to Tampa Bay, a team who I really believe we can sweep. I believe we can sweep. Again, Falcons took care of business, and if they beat the Saints, it don't matter whether we win or lose. But again, man, we gotta pull this one out, bro. Pause. We gotta pull this one out. We gotta beat this Tampa Bay team. Baker's hurt. I don't care what anybody says. He ain't been 100% most of the season. They wouldn't make it far anyway, Ed. They don't need that fucking division crown. Give it to the Panthers, So from worst to first, man, that's going to feel good. But looking ahead, man, I mean, any one of these teams, I really feel like we can win that wild card game. We can win that home wild card game. But everything's looking up. Everything's looking up, and we gotta clean up, and we gotta attack our run game too, because the run game was atrocious last week, and I really feel like we will. I mean, it's just every now and again, just a few, I mean, Rico will be right there about to break one, and then he'll get caught up. I think we'll clean all that up. We're gonna have to be. We're gonna have to clean it up because now it's real, bro. This is playoff football. Like everybody's good. Everybody's somebody. Everybody can beat the shit out of you, and we got to go in with that mindset that we need to put foot on necks and start just stomping people out. We got to have that dog mentality. Like, I mean, hey, Morgan wanted dogs. The entire Carolina Panthers needs to be dogs. That's my time, though, boys. Hey, keep pounding. Let's go. Playoff time, baby.
Playoff time. Oh, gosh. Don't jinx. Got to win. Just go ahead and win. What he said that he believed that we could beat any of the wild card. Well, I guess it would be these teams, right, CK?
Yeah, I mean, we've beaten two of them.
Right.
I mean,
this is the problem with the team, right? Is like, yeah, oh, you can beat. Should you beat?
Right.
Are you positioned to beat?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you one thing is if I had a team I wanted to play on this list, it's the Packers.
Sure. I can see that.
I mean, at home, so you don't have to play in Lambeau. They get fucking trounced by the Ravens like crazy. They're missing Micah. The Eagles are probably next on the list. I don't think this is that, like, yes, can you beat? Certainly. Should you beat? This is you should not have Panthers, right? So you know what? If the Panthers do back into the playoffs, they're going to win because they shouldn't. Let's go to Chuck from Elizabeth City.
Hey, guys, it's Chuck from Elizabeth City. Hey, look, I'm going to do 2 calls a night. My first one will be a little milder. My second one will be a little worked up. So my mild call goes to this. This weekend's game, will it be the last time we play this season or if we make the playoffs? There's one person, one player, I want to score a touchdown. The guy's worked his ass off this year. He's gotten in at times, been a little bright spot. Sometimes a lot of the fan base feels like he hasn't been used enough. I really want to see Jimmy Horn Jr. get a touchdown before the season ends. The guy deserves it. I don't care if it's a jet sweep, if it's a kickoff, or if this guy especially catches a pass from Bryce and scores. I just want to see the guy. He deserves it. He earns it. I think he'll become a fan favorite. And, the guy deserves this recognition. He deserves this opportunity. And that's what I really want going this new year. I want to see a Jimmy Horn Jr. touchdown.
All right. Thank you for the call. Ask the chat. This is because I love this when people in the chat didn't make me feel stupid tonight on this. But when I was talking about how Jonathan Brooks, like how he could be a real deal next year.
Yeah.
Like I know we're on the Dowdle. We like Dowdle. He's in like run. But I don't think anybody right now is like pay Dowdle. Like you can't live without him. But now there is a contingent of people talking about how an unnecessary bluntness, who I love, has been on the show, and other Panther podcasters, so support his channel. He loves him. He talks about Jonathan Brooks. And when I said this weeks ago, CK, when we were not weeks ago, months ago, when we were talking about the Dowdle, like, should you trade? Like, how you got to extend him? Is I am a Jonathan Brooks fan and believer in a sense. Is it if he could be healthy? And if this guy can get an extended, like if he can get that run, if he can have a Thomas Davis come back from these multiple, like he is a special ass player. is. And so I asked the chat, what's the comp? But I love this is that like people like Brooks can be it. And I was like, everybody shit on me months ago when I said, don't give up on him. He's still part of the mix. The comp for him, he's big and fast. Yeah. He's not Adrian Peterson big, but he's not a fat bit. He's a space player. He can do everything. So chat, tell me what your comp is. First player that came to mind for me, and I don't know if it's a great one yet, but I was just kind of thinking of an upright runner. He looks a little thick, but I thought Eddie George, but I don't think that's my favorite yet. I'm gonna come up with somebody better. Let's go to the next call.
Yo, it's showtime, bro. It's Lou from Fort Myers, man. And I'm just calling to let y'all know, bro, this Jalen Coker jersey just came in the mail, bro. That was my Christmas present, bro. I bought me a Jalen Coker jersey, bro. I'm going to say right now, he's the second best player on the team, bro. Offensive second best player. They go Rico Dowdle and Jalen Coker, bro. Y'all can say Tad. Y'all can say, yeah, really just Tad. But, like, nigga, my opinion, bro, Coker better than Tad. Coker always open. Motherfucker ain't sick. I got the flu. Motherfucker. I'm going to start calling this nigga Jalen Coker Waffle House. Motherfucker open 24/7. Shit. Yeah, I mean, he don't drop shit either. Fucking Waffle House with glue hands. But I just came to say, to recap on that Seattle game, for the people that get on like J.C. Horn and like the defense wasn't that bad. Like, I've watched some of the highlights.
As a whole wasn't.
I held them to 3 for a while.
Mm-hmm.
The Seattle Seahawks. We held them to 3 for a while. Our offense cannot score with good field position, bad field position. We have to, like, I feel like we have to luck out. Honestly, you could put Rico Dowdle back as an offensive coordinator and let him call the home run play. Because clearly we got two motherfuckers that don't know shit about an offense. And I used to think Thomas Brown was bad, but at least we'd get some points off with Thomas Brown. This shit is just an embarrassment, bro.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, and I really want Bryce to work out, but drafts around the corner, I don't mind taking a QB late. Like, look how Tyler fucking Shuck performed, bro. Nobody was expecting that at all this year.
Nope.
For him this year. So I wouldn't mind taking a QB late in the rounds. And a lot of people be like, oh, that'd be a waste of draft picks. I'm tired of wasting draft picks on the offense. If I'm being all serious. We gave Bryce Young too many weapons. I want to see what Ejiro Evero can do with way more weapons. Way more talent. Look at our both rookie defensive ends. They're playing out their fucking minds right now. Thornton was playing good. Charles Smith-Wade is playing good. And these are like 5th-round picks. I want to see what he can do with a 1st-round, 2nd-round talent.
Coker, the Cokeheads, I like the Coke Zero because I like I have an affinity for soda. Not like crazy affinity, but right. I like a good cold soda, particularly after drank too much, something like the bubbles, the sweet. It's not good for you. It's not the best answer, not the best solution, but I do F with the zeros. Some people cannot do it. They're like, I'm a real sugar person. They can taste the diet, this and that. So I kind of like the Coke Zero one. I want to bring this up though. When you're talking about these players, I think this is a travesty. I don't understand this. And maybe it's like I mentioned this months ago. This is Panthers website, right? So You're going to go spend the maximum dollar. You're not going to buy the Chinese version from Alibaba. You're going to go and buy you're going to be like, I'm a real fan. I'm going to pay the billionaires the billions. I want to make sure the player get their cut. I want to be the cool kid I want the Coach bag that got the right stitching. Right? So you go to Panthers.com to buy a jersey. Coker's not going to be up there. He's not up here. But I have one big problem with this is, all right, so you can get a Horn jersey, you can get a Young jersey, you can get a Sam Mills, always going to be up there, right?
Right.
Bryce Young, Peppers, always up there. Like, that's what I would say is Mills, Peppers, Hall of Famers, they're always going to be available. You could get a Chuba Hubbard jersey, you get a JC Horn jersey. You could get a Mike Jackson, which I think is really cool, which this actually lends to my point here. Peppers, DeLome, Smith. We're probably going to get an old player too. Not Walls, but you can get a Legette jersey. Sometimes I bet you we'll find somebody who isn't on the team anymore. Kevin Green, he's Dowdle. Every now and then you'll have a discount when like you'll still see a Demir Bird up here.
Right.
I have look, you can get a Jonathan Brooks jersey, which is dope. But that's a risky buy, right? We're talking about, and you can only get the youth one. You can get a Zavala jersey. You know, Fitzgerald. Why the F? You can get a Ninjman. Who is Samak? I don't even know who that is. Where is Scorton? A number 2 pick. Where is he? Why is this not an option? Oh, wait, is there a page 2? He better. Nope. Pinheiro. You get a Pinheiro, Tremble, Austin, Cade Mays, Mitchell.
It's all sold out, dude.
Okay. I have a giant problem with this. Is that you cannot. I feel like, and I brought this up because I want a Scorton jersey. I have not bought a legitimate jersey in a long time, CK. Like,
what do you mean by that?
I bought Alibaba jersey.
I know. I'm just
I don't got a problem with it. I don't have no shame in that game. I know some people say, nah, that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, truest, purist, right? Like baseball purist. But my number is 11.
Okay.
This homemade right here, I was born on 11/11 at 11:11 p.m. Like that's my number. Like it's my number. Like if we're gonna pick a number, if I'm gonna do a lotto, I'm gonna do this. If we're gonna get my baseball jersey, like if I'm on a baseball team, 11's my number. If I get an option, so Scorton wears 11, but I didn't just go out and say I want a Scorton jersey from day one,
right?
But he is a trending, growing player, right? Who we think is going to be like, he looks like a rookie who's improving all of this. The idea that your second round pick is not a option, that you got to do a custom jersey. I don't understand it. Like, I feel like every year, whatever the draft is, at least your first and second picks have to be jersey options. Panthers, do better. Is that not weird a little?
I do find that is slightly odd that we're not seeing, like, I mean, I almost guess that you probably can find a Princely jersey on there if you wanted to.
Well, not on their website, so you can get it made. You can get a custom one where you say,
but you pay more for that.
I still don't like a top first, second. We're not talking a 5th round pick.
Right.
I'm not here going, oh, Jimmy Horn Jr. wears number 11. Why is he not up here? I have oh, by the way, it's 11:11 right now. Let's go to the next one.
Yo, it's Lou back with a part 2. And back to what I was saying, bro. I really think we do go get a linebacker this first round. It don't have to be like a Luke Kuechly type of, but we're gonna be picking late, and I really hope we can get us a good linebacker or a defensive player. Like another safety would be nice. Like I fought with our free safety. God dang, what's his name? I fought with the boy, but
Morrig.
Nick
But he's
Scott. I
a
fought
strong
with Nick
safety.
Scott, but time to move on. I fought with Roseboom. Time to move on. Trevin Wallace. I know he's still young. Time to move on. Like, it's time to add pieces that no longer get exposed. And, you know, you're going to say, like, how can a rookie come in here and fix that defense? But to be honest, the defense don't really need no fixing. It's just play calling and scheming, bro. I'm going to just be completely honest with you. You'll never sit there and be like, oh, our defensive players are ass. You'll sit there and ask, what the fuck is Gerald Everett doing? You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. It's like, oh, Bryce Young is ass. Well, sometimes I really look at it like, what is Dave Canales doing? And for that part 2 that I did on the game, kneeling some shit like that, kills team morale, bro. I promise you we're not coming out to Tampa and winning, bro. And if we do, it's off some Baker being a fucking dumbass.
Which he's
but
questionable.
I really don't think we're going to go into Tampa to win because we went out like some bitches last game. We tucked our tail between our legs and went out like some freaking hoes. And you don't even, like I said, you don't even do that shit in Madden, bro. Honestly, Dave Canales is supposed to be an offensive-minded coach. QB whisperer. Oh, wide receiver, this and that. I haven't seen none of it from him. Maybe he'd be good as a coordinator, but I don't think Dave Canales is a good head coach. And I'm going to just put that as is, just based off the inconsistency of the team. But those are my thoughts. I would like to hear yours. Love every single one of y'all. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the Longest Panthers podcast. Salute from Fort Myers. Keep pounding.
Maybe I've made a mistake. Let's see if this is. Nope, I did not make a mistake. And the website. This is crazy here. The real AP, CK said that he tried to get a McMillan jersey. Think about that. How about that? Is McMillan's not up here?
That is odd,
right? If we go to view all players here, let's see.
What are we at on the Panthers website right here?
Yeah, I'm on Panthers.com.
Dude, what in the world? I bet you Fanatics has it.
It says, but it's the team store at Fanatics Experience. I don't care. You can't even just go and get a McMillan jersey. The real AP said he tried to get to do this any name, and he tried to get the little C, and they wouldn't do the little C. How about this? This is bananas. Derek Brown is not an option up here. Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. Like,
yes, you are, but also that's kind of crazy too.
What? Thank you, CK. I don't know how to take that, but this is wild. This is wild. Are you gonna go in the team store? They better have a McMillan jersey in the team store. Next goal.
What's up, guys? Kyle from VA. It's been a while since I've called in. Been working crazy. But always listening. Cody, my guy. Listen, I love you. But if there's one thing that has really brought something out in you this season, the up and down of the Carolina Panthers, is your willingness to flip-flop from week to week on Bryce. And I know you're not the biggest supporter of him, and that's fine. But 1 week, we should pick his fifth-year option up. He's showing real progression. He's playing great. We're winning games because of him. And 7 days later, it is the total opposite of that because we lost. And he didn't play good. I get it. But the flip-flopping is just bipolar. It's crazy. But anyway, man. Boys, we got a division to win this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday. We don't need to depend on Atlanta to do nothing for us. Saturday, we need to go and take care of business. Beat the fucking Bucks. Win this fucking division. Because the NFC, if you make it into the playoffs, the NFC has been a any given Sunday conference this year. if we make the playoffs, we can beat anybody, and I truly believe that. It's been an all-out damn war in the NFC. We go win this damn division, man. And we can do that. And we can make the playoffs. Keep fucking pounding.
All right, thank you. Yes, we got to get. Maybe we can win it. We should. I mean, go out there and win the game. With the flip flop for Cody, I don't know if it's a flip flop or it's just like every other week we don't know what to think.
I think in to play devil's advocate in favor of Cody here, I think that Cody has taken what has been in front of him with every single week, and he has been willing to adjust his opinion based on what he's seen. Now, technically, I would agree that is flip-flopping, right? You're going to go back and forth, and it's my issue with that mindset is that where I would agree with the caller is that I do think it seems disingenuous when we have 1 month like this one bad game and then it's like, oh, it's the end of the world, and then he has a good game, and then it's like, okay, maybe we can, and then going back and forth, that if like it'd be different if it was like, I could understand people maybe not giving him, or maybe giving him more grace if it was like, it was 3 games in a row. He was like, all right, Bryce is the guy. And you're like, maybe I'm starting to see it come back down to earth a little bit. Maybe not so much, but it's been like ping pong every single week. Every other week, it's just been like back and forth. And that's because we've been that type of a team as in general. And Bryce has been that type of a quarterback all year.
Yeah. And it comes back to because he is, Cody is a raw speaker.
Yeah.
Right. Like he doesn't sugarcoat or like he doesn't soften the edges. So when he's still coming back to the damn CJ Stroud stuff. Like he goes hard in the paint, right? So when you go hard in the paint and then you say, all right, I'm going to take new evidence and do this, and this, right? I don't think he flip-flops because I don't think any of us really believe or disbelieve.
Yeah.
That's like, we're just in this suspension of hope and not knowing. And even after that game, CK, somebody told me in the comments I didn't know anything about football. And I was like, why? And I don't, maybe. Just watch. My eye test person.
Yeah, I agree.
I did not just walk away from this game being like, Bryce sucks. Like, I just didn't. You know what I mean? Like, even this fucking play we debated, like, yeah, we can quibble. Should have gone this way? Should have gone. It's at the end of the day, it's an errant play, right? It's a mistake, right? It's like this is one. I did not walk away from this game going, oh, Bryce didn't do anything. Like, he can't do, like, he sucks. He blah, 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 blah. He was not on my list. And then I looked at the stats and I'm like, how can I be so friendly to this? And I still believe it. I'm not coming after it. It's like, yeah, 54 yards passing is fucking lunacy.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
But I still don't go back and go, like, this is not the game. If I wanted to pinpoint a game where I said I don't believe in Bryce, crazily, the game where he only throws 52 yards is not the one I would cite.
And I understand where you're coming from with that, because what I think when I look at this and I see how this Seattle defense played against us, like they literally had the perfect game plan against what we are as a team. Like you could not have dialed up anything more perfect than what they did against this team. Okay. Here's the thing.
They didn't make any mistakes.
They didn't. Well, at least not on defense.
Right.
There were some issues on the offense that, the Seattle offense against our defense. But I think my where I was going with that was when you look at what Seattle did, the fact that Bryce had 1 interception is actually a miracle, because a lot of times this is where the Seattle defense has thrived, is getting turnovers from, opposing quarterbacks. Like they had the highest
it
turnover
wasn't
rate.
2 fumbles in the first quarter.
Yeah, the fact that it wasn't worse, and we still had a shot even after he threw that interception, and after after all the momentum was sucked out of the entire stadium, we brought it back within 1 score, and then that's when the unfortunate J.C. Horn, with the penalty happened.
Watching the Chuba Hubbard fumble,
I think that was the beginning of the end. Like
that was the end.
Well, I mean, you got to keep in mind that happened before Bryce's interception, and we did bring it back within 1 game after that. So we got to keep that in mind.
That was before that
was before.
I think that was later.
What are you talking about? The fumble?
Yeah, I think because we got the late pick.
No, so this is how the sequence went. The second half started. The Seattle Seahawks had the second half ball. That they drove down the field, got within the red zone, and then got close to the red zone, and that Mike Jack interception happened in the back that could have also been called an incompletion. The very next play, Chuba Hubbard fumbled, and then they were able to drive down and get a touchdown, and then we went into the half tied, and then after that they were ahead by 7, and then we started that drive, and then that's when Bryce did that interception, which they then turned into a touchdown. We came back and scored a touchdown after that and brought it back to a 1-possession game. But in the fourth quarter, when we were 3rd and 21, that's when the J.C. Horn, face mask / eye poke took place.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right about the time. And I'm apologize, chat, for not knowing anything about football. I'm not that sensitive about it, but what I will say with the eye test, though, that comes back to this is that was off of an interception.
Yeah.
Right. Like a momentum type changing moment where Carolina can get back in this. And then you cough the ball up on our side.
Yeah.
Right. At least, and I'm not saying at least, but the interceptions in midfield. It's not a dagger like that. That was like such an opportunity with the Mike Jackson. And then we all thought it was going to come back. We were worried about his foot, but then the shin, thankfully. Thank you, Demir Bird, for setting that precedent with 1 butt cheek is better than 2 feet. That's a Demir Bird thing. That one was a dagger. I mean, that one hurt.
Yeah.
That one hurt. All right, next go.
Hey guys, it's Chuck from Elizabeth City. I've been really thinking about this, and with your website, with your podcast, and really with our fan base, you got a lot of people on one end of the seesaw and a lot of people on the other.
Mm-hmm.
When I was listening to your show Sunday night, a couple of people called in and made some comments or put some stuff on the screen. It really pissed me off. Wouldn't have done me well to be in a bar with watching the game with them. I'm going to tell you something. First and foremost, if we make the playoffs, if we're 9-8, if we win Sunday, 9-8, maybe we're the worst team in the playoffs. But we can build on that 9-8 season, guys, for next year. When the season started this year, we went from 2 wins the year before we got Canales, 5 last year, 8 to 9 wins this year. Look, all we got to do is keep developing and grow. If we win 9 games, it's a winning season. But what do we look for next year? Something that's never been done in the Panthers' history. 2 back-to-back winning seasons. That's important, guys. The reason why the playoffs are important, I hear people, we're going to get embarrassed. We didn't get embarrassed at Green Bay. We didn't get embarrassed when we played the Rams. Hey, even the Seattle game, who I thought was the toughest defense we played Sunday, it was 3-3 at the half, and we dropped interceptions. And we didn't turn the ball over and give them a short field in the second half. Going into the fourth quarter, guys, it was 17-10. It did get away from us. They're a mark of a better team. But what the playoffs does for us, even if we get beat 42-0, the young draft class we got this year, how great they played, are aging veterans, whether that be Brown, Brown or Horn, these guys need to taste the playoffs. Because what does it do? Do you remember the year Ron went 7-8-1?
Here's the
And we
call
won
of the
division
night.
2 out of 3 years. We make the playoffs. What do? We beat the Cardinals in the first round at home. What did it set up? Us to make the Super Bowl the following year. You go back and look at a team like Seattle. When they had a losing record, they played New Orleans. But they had a home game because the NFC West was weak. What did they do? They end up building it and making playoffs, making Super Bowls, winning a Super Bowl. I get tired of this fan base calling in. I don't want to make the playoffs to where we're playing. Well, root for fucking somebody else.
Okay.
All these excuses. We should have drafted this player. We shouldn't have drafted Bryce. We should have done this. Yeah, well, I should have bagged your grandma when she looked good, but I didn't.
Hey-o.
But my point to you is, guys, relative,
A lot of good points there. Interesting there is talking about the taste, not the taste of success, but the taste of meaning with the playoffs for younger players.
Yeah.
I saw this stat, CK, where who is it? Sauce Gardner got traded from the Jets.
Yeah.
And he's the first player ever to be 1-7 with a team. He was traded to a team that then went 1-7 because the Colts have lost 7,
God,
7
dude.
out of 8. Like a
I
poor
couldn't
guy.
imagine what it's like to be the Colts right now.
That the requirement of competency, the requirement of victory that creates.
Yeah.
I think that you think of Brian Burns, who has never been on a team that's won more than 3 games or something. Poor guy. So I actually love that argument of why making the playoffs is valuable. Like what that does. Like you're kind of there. You've had the pressure, the experience, and that just the hunger. That is the requirement going forward. But for me, the more important part of beating Tampa is not making the playoffs. It's about having a winning record.
Yeah.
That's growth.
I think if we can fight for the first time in their entire franchise's history, have a winning record, I think that is, back-to-back winning records, I should clarify. I think that does a tremendous amount for the breaking, the feeling of breaking a curse, because right now it's felt like we've been, I wouldn't say cursed to the level of the Red Sox were dealing with before they won the World Series, but it certainly feels cursed like to have things having gone the way that they have. So I agree. I think if we can make this win, turn this into a winning season, and even if we, and to his point, if we win the wild card, I think what you turn is, it's not like you talked about, it's not just a matter of momentum. I think it just allows for potential, the taste of potential to actually be something that is real for us. Because everything has always been, the potential has been there, but it's always been kind of just like a hope. And going into a playoff game after having a winning season, that we earned the playoff seed, right? By that point, it may not have been a pretty season, but we earned it. If we can win this game against the Bucs, we earned this. And I think feeling potential going into next year, I think does a lot for us to be able to build a team around.
That's why I want us to win.
Yeah.
It's not that I will turn the playoff game down. Let's win this game against the Bucs. And then whatever happens in the playoffs happens in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next goal.
Like I was saying, relish the fact we can make the playoffs. If we win and we're in, even if we lose and the New Orleans.
Now I want to hear this part, Chuck.
And we sneak in, I'll be more disappointed. I'll be more disappointed if we get in at 8-9 and play in a competitive playoff game than going 9-8, having a winning record, getting blown out in the playoffs.
I agree with
but
that
building
point.
a plan out with our young team and our rookies, giving them a taste and realizing what do we need to make improvements on. If you're a true Panther fan, you want everybody to succeed as a Panther. I'm not some of these fans out here that root for McCaffrey now because he's a 49er. Well, he played for us. I love him. He might be a good guy. But as long as you're wearing that putrid-ass, red, stupid-ass 49er uniform, I'm not a fan. I'm a Panther fan first. So what's it going to be? Are you going to step to the plate and have balls of steel and be a Panther fan and want to win and get in the playoffs and grow? Or do you want to cower like a wilting flower in the desert? I don't want to win. Let the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win. Because why? If they get in, they're going to try to win. That's all I got to say, guys.
Chuck brought it. Chuck, for that, email me or hit me on X, CarolinaCatChronicles@gmail.com. I got a prize to you for a call of the night. I'm going to send you a one-of-a-kind historic relic from Panthers Stadium, because what he said, I like this, is he said, I'd rather win this way. I would rather win and get blown out in the playoffs than back out and get a win in the playoffs.
Yep.
And I'm not saying like actually we would want that win in the playoffs. Maybe it would lead to more. Chuck, I'm vibing with you, brother. The chat loves you. Email me. You're going to get a special prize if you do.
Yo. What's up, C3? It's Anthony from Charlotte. Hope y'all boys are having a good Tuesday, man. Calling in a little late at 8:33 here. Just wanted to give some quick thoughts after what I witnessed last night. Now, listen, man. All here, man. This is what we've been wanting. We've been wanting a moment like this. We've been wanting to change the narrative. We've been wanting to get out of this 7-year losing drought of just looking at mock drafts and hoping players sign with us and always having, firings at this time. And, man, like, I know there's two pathways to get in the playoffs. I don't give a fuck how it happens. Let's just get in the playoffs, man. Give me that home playoff game. I've lived in Charlotte my whole life. Like, I'm trying to go to this game. It's been 10 years since any of us have been able to go to one. Like, I don't give a fuck, man. Go to the playoffs and end this drought. Realistically, though, if I'm keeping it real, like, we should beat Tampa Bay. I honestly think we will. I think we'll have it wrapped up by Saturday. I don't think Tampa Bay's that good. Vegas even doesn't think so either. Only getting 2.5 points at home. So we'll see what happens based on the win-loss pattern, too. I expect our offense to bounce back. I think the guys are locked in. I think Robert Hunt playing could be really, really huge. I'm so sick of watching Corbett just get ran over on a stunt. It's embarrassing. Yeah, man, I'm not even going to talk about the second option. I don't even think we need it. But if we do, I think there's a good odds at that, too. Listen, man, like we've all known, this division has been so bad for so long, and it really comes down to whoever gets their shit together towards the end of the season. That's usually how this thing ends. And it's been Tampa Bay for the last 4 years. And, obviously Tom Brady, was a part of two of them, and Baker was a part of two of them as well. But it's like, man, really, Tampa Bay's just been just a few steps ahead of everyone else, and they're in a bad position right now, man. Let's get this done, man. Let's get it done, man. Bring us the home playoff game, man. I don't even care what happens. I just want to get this off everyone's slate. It's really what I care about. I said last week in my call last Sunday, I'm very impressed with what we've done this season. It's been a big step up. I don't think any of us expected to be in this position. The rebuild is definitely accelerating faster than we thought, which is great. But it's like now you got this position where you have 2 lives to get in the playoffs. It's like, dude, yeah, you got to get in the playoffs. Let's just end the streak this year. And another thing, man, Bryce Young haters, I wanted to draft him, but, he's not getting a $55 million mega contract. The dude hasn't thrown for 3K yards yet. Just wanted to throw that out there. Sorry, not sorry. Anthony from Charlotte, keep motherfucker.
Comment, CK?
I mean, hey, I respect the mindset of just being able to enjoy a playoff game. I have no problem with that feeling as a fan of this team that hasn't really been able to experience it in the format in which you can do it now, Anthony. Because we've essentially you've been an adult for the majority of our time together, but it's you've also been just beginning your adulthood. And so to say that you've never really been able to experience that as an adult is something that, I think that, I think it changes things. The experience in the stadium is significantly different than when you're a kid. Now, there's still positives to being a younger gentleman in the stadium during the previous years, but I think it does change things, and it allows you to be able to enjoy it. Because before, my experience when I was younger in the stadium, mind you, we've been, going to those Panthers games since I was like 6 or 7, maybe 7 or 8. I don't want to say 6, 7, 7 or 8, because they were inaugural season ticket holders, my mom's boyfriend at the time. And so I can tell you with a significant amount of certainty that experiencing the game as an adult is far more enjoyable. So I am absolutely in favor of you being able to enjoy that no matter which way it happens. But I certainly would rather be with us having a positive record.
100% disagree. Because you got to pay for the tickets. You got to pay for the hot dogs. You got to pay for the popcorn. I saw somebody put this picture on X, and it was this giant Christmas tree with all these presents under it. And it was like, why am I not as happy as I used to be, or something? I mean, I don't know what it was. It was something silly. And I was like, it was like very simple. You're the motherfucker buying and wrapping the presents.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even the money. It's the exhaustive amount of time. So, yeah, when you're a kid, you just get to tag along. People go in. They take you to the bathroom. They buy your drink. That's awesome. I was at the NFC Championship game. Greatest sporting moment of my life. I don't expect that if you got this home game to be in that caliber, or could not be in that caliber. New argument, though, CK. I'm adjusting my opinion about backing into the playoffs. Good for the Charlotte economy. One more game gets one more server, one more dinner at Dilworth's or whatever.
Well, it also, that whole thing, remember how the Charlotte's going to be helping us with the renovations of the stadium. That becomes a lot less controversial.
It certainly helps mitigate the pain a little bit. Only 2 more calls to go, and we'll finish and power through this show.
Hey guys, it's the girl that makes him howl, aka Joey the Blind Panther. So yeah, the Falcons. Maybe we should be nicer to them next year.
Nope.
They just helped us out big time last night. Because if they win against the Saints,
stupidest thing I ever heard.
even if we lose, which, you know what? We probably will. Because this team they're capable of doing good stuff, but boy, are they capable of some dog shit. Like, I put in the comments on Sunday, it's not that Bryce Young was dog shit at quarterback. Dog shit could play better quarterback. Like, it was awful. And of course, I'm pissed on it because I'm probably not going to make it to my favorite watering hole next month because I owe that bar tab to a buddy because I foolishly bet on Bryce Young to have over 3,000 yards. He needs to throw for 256 yards against the division opponent with everything on the line, who also can't beat the Dolphins.
Could happen, bro. You're not out of the. You're not.
Need to count on anything.
You're in it.
That's bad. And
it's not looking great, but you're in it.
I mean, there is still the Buccaneers. They have to win to go to the playoffs. We no longer have to win to go to the playoffs. That is insane. Like,
what a weird year. And this is the same thing they had me over at the stadium sounding like Tony Dunn. So, yeah. God, this shit is weird. And J.C. Horn, are we ready to talk about him just like, this ain't his year no more after that concussion? Anyway, guys. Wow.
CK, before the Bucks got Tom Brady and brought in the greatest quarterback of all time, right? And then they run and they get the division a couple of times. They win the Super Bowl.
Right.
The Bucks are the friendly team, like in the division. Nobody hates the Bucks, right? Like, I mean, any Bucks fan I know, like, we have cordial conversations. Like, I don't go, oh, fucking Bucks.
Right.
Even though they have kind of owned the division for the last, 4 years? 5, feels like. The Saints had a 5-year run, and we're like, we fucking hate the Saints. Man, the fucking Saints.
Yeah.
I mean, and for me, it's the Falcons. Like, that's the team that I loathe. I've got a bunch of reasons. I've talked about them plenty. You mentioned that none of these teams, and this is another thing that irritates me about these assholes. And it's such a true thing is they see us as the little brother that doesn't matter. So they, like, the Falcons hate the Saints more than they hate us. The Saints hate the Falcons more than they're like, oh, y'all are inconsequential and the Bucks are nice. Like, everybody has the Bucks are nice opinion. The Saints fans do, the Falcons fans, and it makes me fucking mad. It's an ego thing. It's a looked over thing, but it's also right. And I understand why they're saying it. Like, our rivalry is not with you.
Right.
I really, really wish this scenario was either the Bucks the Falcons or the Saints winning the division and us losing to them. Like, it kind of sucks. Like the nice team would be the one that lost the division, doesn't make the playoffs, and then the Falcons and the Saints still get to sit there and be like, fuck y'all, we don't care about y'all. Y'all don't mean nothing. Ugh. All right, last call of the night. Here we go.
Hey guys, it's Jono in Atlanta. First off, everyone please take a moment to like and subscribe. Love the pod. Love listening to you guys. Whether you're up or down,
Thank you.
We're all Panthers fans. I love that about the community. I wanted to say to Cody, can you please, I kind of really don't like when people try to bring up Bryce's total overall numbers, because if anyone can remind me, who was Bryce throwing the ball to his first year?
Oh my God.
Who were
Here
his
we go
receivers
back.
his first and second year? I mean, is anyone really expecting Bryce to have 5,000 yards with Adam Thielen as his number one receiver? I mean, even Cam had Steve Smith his first year. Then he got Greg Olsen. Like, he got pieces around him, and I think we're slowly building that for Bryce. But one thing I realized after yesterday's game with T-Mac being sick, we really do not have a true number 3 receiver. I mean, I think Coker's been a great number 2, but once they take away T-Mac and Coker has to carry the offensive passing game, who else do you throw the ball to if you're Bryce Young? Like, I was, I watched a couple of videos of people looking at the All-22, and I didn't really see a lot of guys who were able to get consistent separation. It seems like Excel has really fallen off of favor with the coaching staff. And so I guess, does Jimmy Horn then become your number 3 receiver? I don't know. It's also interesting to me that whenever Bryce seems to do bad, it seems like the whole team is also doing bad. That's not no excuse for Bryce. And again, I'm typically a Bryce, what most people probably call a Bryce truther, but 54 yards is so hard for me to explain to anybody. When you played a full game, you had 26 passes, 54 yards is just, he came back off the rolled ankle and threw 100 yards in Green Bay weather. So I don't even know. I can't even really explain what happened in that game. I think he definitely deserves some blame for that. But also, I think there was a lot of, just drops. Mitchell Evans had a huge drop. Bryson Tremaine had a big drop. T-Mac trying to catch the ball with one hand again. That was a drop. There were just
wouldn't have mattered even if it did.
Everybody, and that's what it feels like. Was whenever one part of the team starts to not play well, it feels like everyone starts to not play well. But hopefully next season we can get another wide receiver to really add depth to our room. I think if David Moore is healthy, we probably win a lot. Probably win 1 or 2 more games this season, just because we have a true number 2 or 3 receiver to balance out this wide receiver room. But love you guys.
Thanks for the call. Yeah, man, it's tough. It's like I'm surprised that Coker isn't a bigger part of the offense, CK.
Well, it feels like he has it just feels like he has the it factor. And it does feel like now it could be a testament to the fact that other teams also see him as an it factor, and they have made sure not to allow him to get freed up or something. That could be a reason behind it, but I don't necessarily think that that's exactly what the reason is. I do agree. I would probably agree that it's like it just feels as though the offense is just not built around letting. Like I don't know. It feels as though that somehow we're focused more on making sure we're spreading the ball around as opposed to, letting these guys who are playmakers be playmakers. But that's also like almost not true, just based on the fact that like T-Mac gets the ball a lot more than everybody else does. So I don't even know what the real reason is.
Well, you should feed T-Mac, and Canales came out after this in this press conference afterwards, talking about like how he needed to do a better job of making that a contingent or like a real thing, even and regardless of the illness, right? I mean, he's out there playing. 2 weeks ago, they fed him, right? Yeah. Like, I mean, they went from nothing to they're feeding him. But then you have T-Mac, who is not injured, but illness. And there's no moment where I've like thought that they go, oh, we're going to make Coker. We're going to not design it, but like try to push it, like keep thinking about this, which they should, I think, more. And to the caller's point too, we talked about with XL is there's no reason to do that. They're not even trying that. The yardage is very difficult with Bryce. I mean, as somebody who is very happy that the team has progressed where they are, potentially having this winning record, happy enough with Bryce's play that you get another season. It's wild that we celebrate 120 yards, 140 yards. And this 54-yard game is very difficult statistically to deal with. And as a podcast and fans that look at this from every snap from beginning to end, and like we imagine the national media who doesn't watch half of the games, who turns on the highlight. What are they going to think when they see Bryce Young 54 yards? It's difficult. The Carolina Panthers have an opportunity, however, still to have a winning record and make the playoffs. They don't even have to win necessarily to make the playoffs, but they should go out and beat the Bucs. That's what we thought 2 weeks ago, CK, that was going to be required to get to the playoffs. Carolina is going on the road to Tampa Bay. Here's a little look at the injury report. The Panthers get back defensive tackle Tershawn Wharton, which depth always great. He was the -- 1 free agent acquisition for this team.
Yep.
But I tell you, Bobby Brown is a bad motherfucker. I like that guy. So
we needed the depth. Yeah.
Right. I mean, like, so you have him in the start, and like, this is a good thing, right? But Bobby Brown, good player. And thankfully, imagine not having Bobby Brown and Tershawn Wharton being hurt. The Panthers, however, are thin at linebacker. Chairless and Chris Barnes were held out of practice on Tuesday. Trevin Wallace is now on injured reserve. Running back Rico Dowdle toe was held out toe. He has a toe injury, or that's how it's listed. Held out of Tuesday walkthroughs, but I'm guessing he's going to play. We do have some concerns. Jatavian Sanders hurt in that game, left early. They list it as a fibula. They said an ankle injury in the game. I don't know. Robert Rochelle concussion. Robert Hunt and David Moore, full participants. Imagine this. Robert Hunt comes back. David Moore gets more snaps than XL. I actually don't see that as an impossibility.
I don't disagree. I think David Moore is going to take snaps away from some of these other people.
If you look at Tampa Bay, they're dealing with some injuries too. Jamel Dean's shoulder did not participate. Benjamin Morrison, Anthony Nelson, Tristan Riffs did not participate. Baker Mayfield limited in dealing with a shoulder and knee injury, but he will. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, he's going to go. They got to make the playoffs. He's a go. They're going to shoot him up. He's a warrior. He's going to play. Hopefully, he won't play well.
Fingers crossed.
Baker has not played well recently, CK. Whether it has been the team or him, this is according to Panthers, not according, written by Panthers.com from their Know Your Foe. Mayfield can be a riveting player to watch, keeping plays alive, making magic happen, and willing his way through defenders when need be. His stat sheet from Sunday's performance against the Dolphins was eye-popping and led all passers through Sunday's game's finish. 33 for 44. Wow. 33 for 44, 346 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 2 interceptions, which he's had only 10. To be honest, this is wild. He has only 10 interceptions on the season because he's a gunslinger. I would expect it to be more. 8, though, have come in the last 7 weeks. The Bucs have gone 1-6 through that stretch. Mayfield didn't get a lot of pressure by Miami. Carolina still trying to find ways to generate pressure. Up and down rushing game for them. Last year, it was wildly good with Bucky Irvin, but the Bucs have been through a revolving door at running back this season because of injury. Rashid White has 539 yards. This is by Panthers.com. Bucky Irvin leads the team with 138 carries, 3.5 yards, meager. They're not great with the run game, but they have this battering ram in Sean Tucker. Carolina has to limit this rushing attack, CK, and make Baker get that kind of pressure. You know, like the Baker under pressure. Baker and the steam cooker. And then finally, their defense and special teams has been a roller coaster. Quinn Ewers lit them up last week. Actually, didn't even light them up. 14 for 22, 172, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. The Bucs defense is not great. It's not bad. It's not great. They're up and down, but they've lost a lot, CK. They've been on a tailspin. You don't want the get right game against the Carolina Panthers.
You don't, but I mean, historically speaking, the Panthers are going to win this game just based on the win-loss since like week 5. So, you know, I'd mentioned it. You know, I expected us to lose last week. I was hoping it was going to be a little more competitive than it ended up being, but you know, but I also stated that I think that we're going to see that win-loss continue in this game. I think we get a get back right game with this one to where we can go into the playoffs with some momentum.
You know, CK, I was with you as I did not pick the Panthers to win last week. I hoped it would have been more competitive the game actually was strangely competitive.
It was more competitive. It just became. It looks the score was lopsided because of us going for a fourth down, and that allowed them to essentially
blow out the game where you're kneeling down. But like, I wanted it to be not wanted a loss. I was thinking that a loss would happen. It would be competitive in a different way.
Yeah.
In a more balanced way. So difficult. The Carolina Panthers are not the favorites. Only 2.5 point dogs on the road, which is interesting here, is like that historically makes them a pick 'em. You know, home field advantage, this and that. I don't know if it means as much in the NFL as it used to. Maybe in certain stadiums, in certain places, it does. Tough place for the Carolina Panthers to be, though, on the road with a team that needs to win. And strangely, they have a 78% chance of making the playoffs because people believe in the Atlanta Falcons more than either of these teams. That fucking grinds my gears.
Yeah.
Who you picking, CK?
I'm going with the Panthers here, man. I think the Panthers have things to fix, but I also think the Bucs are in a tailspin. But I'm gonna. Do we want to do a score, or are we just?
No, just pick it. You got the Panthers.
That's my pick. That's the Panthers.
Is that heart or head?
I think that's head.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm picking the Panthers because I don't know why. Like, I just want it. Heart. I don't think that they should lose every time, but like they don't do what they should. They beat teams they shouldn't. They lose against. Like, I'm sorry. They shouldn't be that bad against the Seahawks. They shouldn't win. I'm picking the Panthers because I want them to win.
Yeah.
I think they can. I do think they can. I mean, we're like competitive enough. Like, our secondary can fuck with these receivers. We can do enough on defense. What team will we get? We don't know. But hopefully we get a team that wins, makes the playoffs. That's what I want. And I'm not going to cheer for the Falcons. If they win, I'll be grateful that it helps us. I'm not
I agree.
All right. That's it. We got the final segment where we ice some fools up. It's been fun. We've got a lot to talk about. We'll be here on Saturday. This show got flexed. Thank you for informing me of that, which is cool because I got to go back to work on Monday, so it'll give me more time to get ready for my classes on Sunday. Let me find this ice up. It's the longest running segment on the longest running Panthers podcast. It's our time to ice up some fools. It's our homage to C. Smith, where we tell someone to ice up, toughen up, get it together. And I'm icing up the length of this podcast.
Oh, you're muted. I don't hear you.
I am muted. Ice up number 2, myself, for not unmuting. CK, you got one for us tonight.
Mine is just going to go to the craziness going on in the world right now, and the primarily what's happening in Minnesota right now, with regard to the potential alleged fraud that's happening up there. I want to say this. I'm icing up people who are responding to the claims of fraud with stating that the people that are discovering or at least investigating it, that they are somehow white supremacist. I would say I find that that's a very disingenuous reaction to a situation that your response could very easily have been, I would I think we need to investigate this further. There's a lot of red flags that were raised with regard to this reporting that's come up recently. Instead, your response is not a reasonable one. It's not addressing any of the real claims being made. It's to state because the person is investigating these circumstances and they happen to be the Somalians, that they are somehow white supremacists. There's two things I want to talk about on this. And number one, it's the lack of any clarity from your politicians when it comes to actually pursuing fraud and actually making sure your tax dollars are being spent correctly. But additionally, I'd also like to state anybody who's naive to believe that it is one group of people that are committing fraud like this. This is the tip of the iceberg. If it's happening to the scale that it is in Minneapolis and Minnesota and in many places, I can promise you it is happening at a much larger scale from every single creed of person that exists on the planet. The only difference between what's happening there and what's happening around the world and around the country is that Somalians, when they go to Minneapolis, they are a community. They are a community, whereas we tend to be, as you know, any other society doesn't tend to react in the same way. But the Somalians are absolutely a community, and so it is very hard to see that network. It's hard not to see that network of people being somehow entangled in this in a large scale with this specific situation. But this fraud absolutely happens all over the country from every single type of person. It's not one race or religion that's doing this. So I'm icing up people who are jumping to conclusions on either side of this.
Fraud is fraud. I don't know what's going on. I've heard, but we know that happens in the healthcare industry. Like it happens anywhere. It can happen.
Yeah, 100%.
Fraud happens. So that's it. All right, this is fun. I don't know if this is old or new, but this just made me laugh. This is one of the suit, like they're making robots that mimic you.
Yeah.
All right, so the caption reads this, and it doesn't ruin it at all. It says, "Man wearing a mocap suit and kicking himself in the balls is my new favorite video of 2025," which I love because I saw this at the last moment of 2025. Right. So my new favorite video also happened on the last day of 2025. I just giggled as this robot mimicked this guy's motions, and then his motion kicked him in the balls. Fun stuff there. Not for him. Ice up.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I mean, he literally is going to have to ice up. All right, that's the C3 Panthers podcast. It's the longest running Panthers podcast. Literally. Been doing it since 2013. And we also go a ridiculous amount of time. Yeah. It's wonderful. We have so much fun. We would not do it if we didn't love it. Thank you guys for all your time, attention, energy. Thank you for the call. Smash the thumbs up button, subscribe. We'll be here. Cody will be here with the Friday free-for-all. Big, good time for you guys to get input there. And on Saturday, we will have the post-game show. CK, thank you, brother. For hanging out, for everything you do and being just a good friend. Let's go.
I'm out. Let's go.